bit delayed and unfortunately one game short, but we are kicking things away in our penultimate week of Counter-Strike coverage here in the EGFC Season 5. I'm Todd Blight. Joining alongside me here is Inflict. We start things off with Montana State University taking on the Rochester Institute of Technology. At MSU, they are winless through our first 6 weeks of play. Something has to change, and soon here in Inflict.
Yeah, they're going up against RIT, who they played in the very first week of EGF Season 5, and well, that game was a rather quick one. I don't believe they actually ended up even winning a round in that game. It was a clean win for RIT, but from what I know, RIT are playing with a different roster this time around. It's lower division roster for them, so Montana State, if they want to make a comeback happen, this is probably going to be their prime time to do so.
Yeah, RIT back in week number 1 played with their Division I roster, including MJB and company, because the Division III roster, the one you'll see today, had a scheduling conflict with NACE Star League. That's not the case tonight. Hasn't been the case for every week other than one, I believe. So the roster you see here is the roster you will get for both this week, and I believe the next week we'll get some confirmation when that next week comes around. For Montana State University and You're Dead, Johnny Boy Gaiman, Fainted, Kova, and Notably Okay. For the RIT side, it's stock standard for them, as per usual. Get Wrecked, Chutang, No Identity, Emo Man, and Fifth Skip. Gotta say, very big fans of both of these teams. I gotta say, though, Montana State has needed a lot more in recent weeks to show like they're a team that belongs in the EGFC. I think they can get it, but it has to come this week because, let's say next week's not going to be the greatest of scheduling for them. They're playing against Utah Valley University, who has lost one map, and that was to Hawaii, who has also lost one map to, you guessed it, Utah Valley University. They basically went 1-1 last week. That's what you missed.
Yeah, we are going to be watching them after this game as well, so they're going to have a head-to-head chance to put something decisive on board. But before we head into that, this game, it's going to consist of two maps, of course. The first one being Mirage, I believe it was picked by Montana,
Yes.
and Overpass being RIT's map pick right here. But as you said, Montana, they haven't really had a great run so far. They've slowly increased their round counts, but we're finally heading into the game to see if they can start to do some serious damage.
Whether it is damage in terms of the pistol round, damage in terms of the rounds won overall, there has to be damage done, and preferably lethal damage, to start to win something more than what has been thus far. There need to be improvements, to say the very least, for Montana State. And a B-rush seems to be the way to solve their problems they've had thus far. They're walking straight on towards Chutang, who is already dead. Great start, to say the very least, for this side, and I don't think anything could have gone better. The problem is, they got a bomb plant, but they don't have all that much otherwise control outside of, well, bench and catwalk. I say that as Get Wrecked absolutely dusts down one, and a 2 now will make it 1v3 for Kolva, who has no utility and basically no way, at least not easily, back on the bomb site. They have a P250 in hand. Correction, they had a P250 in hand. It's been ripped away and the round's over.
Yeah, Montana State went in fast. They had four players pushing straight into the site. Golwa staying behind to see if somebody would flank them, but RIT, as soon as the bomb went down, they went head on. They lost their two players within the site, but as soon as they entered into them, just some clean headshots. Montana State have absolutely no utility to potentially slow things down from the side of RIT or just delay their post plan, their retake. So it was all coming down to the pistols and RIT. They just were outperformed in that matter.
Sounded Irish when you said matter. Are you Irish,
Yeah.
Inflict?
I'm not sure. I can be a lot of things. I can try, but certainly right now wouldn't be the best time.
Let's take a look at how good your Irish accent is later down the line. The start for this one is a little concerning, I'm going to say, on Montana State side. They're walking in, and they are dying immediately. Okay, 4 players stay alive for RIT. I think a M4 may be picked up by Chutang, maybe a Galil. No, they will stick with the MP9. The only player to do so, and Fifth Skip the only one to fall for RIT. Great second round.
Yeah, really quite there. Again, there isn't exactly much to talk about. Montana State got dealt with pretty swiftly by RIT, and no, I don't think I sound Irish. I think that was probably a fluke. There are some words I'm pretty sure. Wait, so sorry. I'm pretty sure there are just some words that I tend to mess up. After all, I learned all my English from movies and video games, so different characters influenced the words I use. Anyhow, back into the round. RIT getting the first 2 frags already, and Montana State, they don't have a lot of util, nor do they have upgrade to counter this.
Yeah, they don't do anything with it. It is 4 kills for the lone MP9. Best weapon that could have gotten those kills, by the way, considering it's $600 a frag, 2,400 bucks on top of the 3,200 you get for the round victory. Chutang may be majoring in economy, considering, or economics, considering their current bank account numbers. Gotta say, pretty dang good start, all things considered.
Yeah. It's not always mandatory that someone in finances would have great finances themselves, though. But certainly could be the case. They should be smart about it, and it's probably effective. But Montana State, they're gonna have to be wise about their finances because they don't have any left whatsoever after the purchase that they've just made. And Chutang making quick work of
No
it,
way.
regardless with the MP9. Oh my god! Even at that range, and you're dead is dead. Well, living up to his name, just a bit self-obsessed that one. With 3 players left alive and a couple of them spotted out as well, already have all the information that they possibly could have hoped for as well, and this seems like another done and dusted round.
Yeah, not a whole lot you can do here. You have, what, an MP7? I think that's the first time I've seen that in the EGF, at least this season, being brought by Notably OK. They will not pick up the M4 dropped by Emo Man, but the 2v4 now becomes, we'll say, difficult to say the very least. The M4 out in the open. Spray down does do damage, but doesn't find a lethal kill. 3 bullets left. Oh my goodness, Fifth Skip runs out of ammo.
Oh.
This now becomes a little bit more of a precarious position. They do have rotators coming in. Get Wrecked is here as well with an M4 of their own, and a nice shot. There's Fifth Skip looking for the shot they got. They'll find it on the fainted, they'll finish what they started, and RIT will find 4.
Yeah, RT have so far been very great at doing just simple divide and conquer against Montana State. They've been isolating those fights, facing them head on. Haven't exactly given Montana State time to set up properly to take 2v1 fights or anything that would really put them at an advantageous position, except that bomb plant they got in the first round. But other than that, it's been really clean from RIT across the board.
The question is, what's the change for Montana State? I was about to say it may be a B rush again, but then I saw Feint just sprint down to the lower side, so that's actually not going to happen. And already you're seeing an opening kill. I was going to say go RIT's way untraded, but it does go 2 for 1 overall, and the mid control goes back towards the favor of the Rochester Institute of Technology. They're happy to just patiently wait here. Not a whole lot going on. After those first 3 engagements, it's a much slower round for Montana State. They are all gathering over towards trash.
I'm actually starting to wonder if notably okay is notably okay because now he has a P90. And Montana State have names that contradict themselves. Your dead is probably the first one dying in most of these rounds. Oh my god, shot his own teammate there. Notably okay has been running around with some questionable choices of weapons, but eventually ends up falling as well. Emo Man knows where Krolwa is, but the Molotov going to force them out, and that should be a free frag. Well, a one-on-one trade nonetheless. So leaving only Fainted behind up against 3, spotted out as well, and Fainted. Well, he feints Fifth Skip, leaving them in a 1 versus 2 now, and the bomb down.
He didn't actually plant.
Oh.
He thought he planted. Counter-Strike moment, I guess. Feels bad. Unfortunate, I think, to say the very least, and one that you're going to want back if you're looking at this from the Montana side. I do think Fainted could have had that 1v2. You had the swing out in the open. You basically had 2 separate 1v1s, but losing that first fight is just the detriment. It's the round. It's RIT's 5th. One thing you're going to see really quick, the overlay is going to refresh. Just pretend it's not. We're seeing a little bit of an issue with the overlay on the scoreboard, or not the scoreboard, the map. Hopefully it fixes itself, because I'll switch the teams back in a second. It's 5-0 RIT, but yeah, for some reason no identity is the number 0 on the map. I'll try and fix that. Make no promise.
Well, Montana State now up 5-0. Not really though, not literally, but that's probably the biggest lead that they're gonna get, and it continues to go 1. RIT now up 6-0. Again, another flawless round win, and well, Montana State. It seems like the B side has been their best shot in the pistol round. They were able to get a bomb down. In the last round, it got down to a 1 versus 2, and the bomb almost got planted. It practically got planted. It just was a CS moment. So Montana State, they probably should start figuring something out around that site, or maybe have some presence over towards middle while they head towards B to catch RT off guard. I'm not entirely sure. Montana State, they've had quite a few mistakes that have caused those issues, but it seems like they're good recognizing it. Fainted first blood, and now they're on for rotation.
That's a good start. I mean, at least there's some level of progress. You'll see a swing from the top of mid. At least some progress now being created for Montana State off the back of that opening kill. I say that as Kulva's just dusted. Get Wrecked one taps him from the window, and yeah, I feel like that's about a good sum up of today's game. Get Wrecked reswings. That one will get shut down, so no overzealous nature going to be rewarded. At least not earlier in these rounds, but it is going to be that waterfall out of the palace position and trying to take this A side. 1-for-1 trade. Notably, okay, almost opping their teammate, but we're seeing another 1v2 scenario. No identity, left alone in this one. More than reasonable for them to pick it up, but no guarantee whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a scout and an op in the hands of the players of Montana State up against an AK of no identity. He does have a frag and a smoke, so he can isolate these fights out pretty nicely. Well, one spotted. And done. Montana State strike their first round finally. And it got a little bit closer than it should have, probably losing those couple of players over towards middle, but Montana State, they got it nonetheless.
It's progress. MSU is
Yeah.
on the board. Something forward, at least. I gotta say, it's becoming a little bit of a challenge, though, if I'm looking at this from the MSU side. If they continue to have these problems, if they continue to run into, we'll say, issues, to say the very least, I don't know how easy this is going to become for them. That one was close. Yeah, it was a round victory, but it was a little closer than it maybe should have been. How easy does it become? That's the real question, though, if you're at least looking at this from that perspective.
Yeah, Montana State, they had 4 players present over towards middle, but now they're going to spread out a little bit, sending 1 player over towards Abs, and Jutang is going to be the one that strikes first in this round as Johnny Boy meets his demise, and You're Dead falls as well. And Montana State, one round victory, going to put them back to the same mistakes that they have been making so far. Jutang now in a world of trouble as he's been surrounded by a couple of players, but he has the help that he needs, and with the face of no identity, leaving only Kolwa behind, and that's a rather clean round from RID coming in to bounce right back into the game.
Yeah, you lose one, you pick one back up. Clean finish for RIT. And I want to take a look at the stats just for a few seconds. I usually don't bring up stats too much, but Fated is the only one that is anywhere near positive and is technically positive for Montana State, 7-7. For RIT, literally everybody is positive. You see, Get Wrecked is, let's see, double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple, septuple positive. That's 7 times as many kills as you have deaths. And Chutang is triple positive +1. So, overall, pretty good game, to say the very least, for RIT. I think to understate what may very well end up being the obvious, but this is becoming a problem. If it wasn't already, I don't know if this one can be solved.
Yeah. Except Fainted, the rest of the 4 players collectively have 6 kills on the side of Montana State. That's even less than the kill amount of kills Fainted has, and that speaks a lot about potentially the problems that Montana State are having. But well, not this time. This time around, they've found some frags. They're making this work, but not for long. As 2 players have fallen for each side. Galva tagged down as well, but Emo Man alongside Flipskip were very weak. Flipskip met his demise, leaving only 2 behind.
Still becomes, again, a reasonable round for Montana State to pick up, especially with that flank being set up. Look at the top left of your screen. Just hold for that flank to establish for And You're Dead, and oh, they're now just themselves alone. No identity. There's an internal clock they should tick. They'll turn around probably in about 6 seconds or so, and actually make it 2, as they start to look the other direction. They realize mid cannot be controlled. It has to be either the T apartments or the B site apartments. With 30 seconds left, that timer continues to tick away, and it does not favor And You're Dead. Just patiently walking up apartments, but the problem is now he's making way too much noise. He knows the time's against him. However, so are the shots. Straight to his head. They go, and the round once more for the Rochester Institute of Technology.
Yeah, not a great start for Montana State on their own map pick. It seems like they have. It seems like their communications might even be clustered because, as you said, in that 2 versus 2, that could really have been a favorable positioning for Montana State had the players played a little bit patiently. Whoever it was present over towards Ops, near the bomb, it could have really worked out. But again, it seems like they aren't exactly playing this collectively and relying a lot more on making something happen individually. and sort of standing out. But against RIT's such dominant form right now, it's just not going to work. Again, fainted. He's been playing sort of lights out considering the performance his team has had and finding two frags yet again in this round, but he needs help.
My question is, what's going to be the change for Montana State? Should they have the benefit of going on to the other side? Is there going to be something changed for them? Oh no, No Identity just won that fight from downtown, to say the very least, and you're already looking at a round that seems to be over. You're walking on towards the B site with an op, a scout. The scout, by the way, is on Notably Okay, who's just sitting inside of the apartments. No, it's on. Yeah, Notably Okay, who's in mid, not inside of the apartments. The map screwed with me again. And if Fainted can win this fight, maybe you're looking at a different round. But no, Notably Okay is gone. Fainted is alone on the B site, and his only help is about a quarter mile away on the bench in mid. And there's 45 seconds left, and the diffuser's on catwalk. I don't know why they didn't just go catwalk to B, because they had a smoke and they didn't use it. This is a problem.
Yeah. Fainted has a Molotov as well still, so they could have cut things out. But Fainted, he's nowhere close. He's trying to make something happen, make some magic happen. 3 kills all to his name, leaving only 2 players behind. He's possibly up for an
Someone
ace if
behind
they
him.
want to win this round, but yeah, there's just not enough time as well.
Seconds. Fainted's about to make noise. There's a swing. That's the round. There is mathematically no time remaining with the bomb now just being seen. It may not matter. Kova finds one. Emo Man has to run a different direction. If they swing this, they make the round a feasible possibility. But no, they will understandably sprint for the hills. Tail tucked between their legs, and the op saved over with a nice little Kenny S sticker on the scope. Round RIT 9-1. And this is just our first map of play.
Yeah, gotta respect the legends, but Kolva, he was able to save an op if you want to look on the positive side of things, although there's not a lot of positive stuff going on for Montana State, not in terms of stats, not in terms of, well, how the rounds have been playing out. Fainted the only player against, he's achieved positive KD, so maybe that's something, but RIT with an 8 round lead as we're heading into the second last round of the first half on Montana State's pick. Even and to answer your question, even if there's something that they can change with how the scoreline is looking, this could potentially be an 11-1 scoreline by the time we conclude things on the first half. It might even be just too late.
Hey, if it's not, they are looking a little bit better in these last couple rounds. The problem is mid-round calls have not looked the greatest for them. Johnny Boy, while absolutely blind, still finds that kill. However, running through smoke, maybe not the most ideal of calls. Emo Man finds one, wants to go back to the op, and will hit another shot point blank. 5-7 will find a third, and Fainted's in a 1 versus 2. This is the throwing away of calls I was talking about. Fainted will find one. No Identity on the other side of this in catwalk. Has already passed by the angle. Re-swings,
Oh
somehow
no.
survives the shot. Fainted's on 1 bullet this up. If he misses it, it's a done round. He does, and No Identity will not miss that opportunity to shut it away. RIT, you said it. Could be 11-1. It is already 10.
Yeah, that was probably the round for Montana to lose. They started off strong, found a couple of frags, but taking all of those engagements head on over towards middle without investing any util behind it, that was just not a wise idea. Fainted, he stayed behind, tried to just overlook the rest of his teammates, but they took engagements a little aggressively over towards connector, and that just didn't work out for them exactly. They couldn't deal with the player over towards B short, and hence that was the differentiating factor in that round. No Identity was the one that ended up winning that last 21. Jutang now going to be the one that kicks things off for a change of things, as Montana State again on a back foot in the final round of the first half.
I'm not going to offer my full opinion because this just does not look good. But when you just completely give up mid on a map that almost certainly requires mid control to win it on the T side, you're looking at a problem from the start. You have 2 players
Oh
sitting
no.
around, A main and Palace. You have And You're Dead, who's completely unaware of Chutang sprinting through T spawn. He just landed. You heard him land, and he may knife you because of it. He's gonna walk behind you. He won't find the knife. He won't even find the headshot. Chutang just missed. But congratulations, you have gained A site control with the rest of your team currently occupied, dead, and the bomb down in the apartments. Fainted has found a kill, though. They've made this, I don't know about reasonable, but we'll say possible. And he's almost dead. Never mind.
Yeah. Not so possible anymore. With only 13 HP and Kolwa to work with, who has smoke and an AK, but not the prettiest of stats, so the confidence going to be lacking there as Fainted eventually, well, goes out, leaving only Kolwa behind up against 4. He might have been hurt, and well, he's dead certainly. And RID do achieve that 11-1 scoreline. They only need 2 more rounds, and if they win this pistol, it's gonna be done and dusted on map 1.
If it isn't already, it's not looking
Yeah.
good. RIT, their pistol rounds are those to be feared, whether it's the Division 1 roster or the Division 3 roster. They have the benefit of scrimming one another, so things become a little bit more difficult from the perspective of teams who play against them. And more importantly, if you are Montana State, you have to bring something completely out of the ordinary. We're seeing a P250 on Kolva, another one on And You're Dead. I think this is dualies. Yeah, it's dualies for Fainted, and another P250 for Notably Okay. They have 2 sets of armor, and they're lucky they could buy those. And they're guessing wrong. The site is B, at least that's the call early, and the only player who was on the site is already dead. Smoke in towards the window, and this map seems to be a foregone conclusion. Andrew Dead does find one on the flank. Nice little P2K Amber Fade. Wants a second, will not find it. That should be this pistol gun.
Yeah, RIT takes a page out of Montana State's playbook, hitting B side straight head on. In the pistol round, and ooh, shaky shots, but Fifth Skip does find the frag eventually, and confirming that round is going to be get wrecked, as notably okay falls to their hands. With RIT now on map point on Montana State, with having only secured 1 round, this is looking deadly. And when we head to overpass, I can only wonder what's really gonna happen. That map being RIT's map, and the momentum and confidence that they have just from achieved from this map alone.
This is a scary RAT roster, and they're making themselves even more scary by playing with the XM. I don't know if you've seen the hilarity of the XM or any other shotgun thus far inflicted in CS2, but here in EGFC, we like to go XM only in some of our games because we hate ourselves.
What?
Yeah, I've actually seen full Inferno games have more XM kills than otherwise. And it's been hilarious. Watch how much damage the XM does from distance as soon as he hits a shot. I say as soon as he hits a shot. Come on, Eagle Man. I'm trying to prove a point here. It'd be really nice if you hit a shot. I'm not getting any help here, Inflict.
Yeah, we might have to do it ourselves later, but he's just running away with the ball. Okay, no XM kills for us as the map comes to conclusion. Montana State, a devastating performance from their side. Fainted, the only player, well, not even positive, just an even KD, but RIT, everybody on our RIT showed up and they needed to. Surprisingly, Montana State had a decent chunk of first bloods. They just couldn't convert them into something meaningful.
Yeah, you're also looking at this in the perspective of RIT and saying, you've done everything right. You've won your pistol rounds, both of them. You've won your conversion rounds, both of them. Bonus rounds, and you would have won the round after that if you were in the second half, but you didn't have to because you won so many rounds in the first half. I think the only round they gave up was one where they just got a little overzealous. It was close, but it really wasn't that close in the end. Montana State did have some signs of life. They did have good rounds individually, but those were shut out by good individual performances from RIT to keep those clean and to end up winning the rounds anyway. I gotta say, Inflict, I am not looking forward to our second map. Overpass is in the cards. RIT, all of their rosters' favorite map to play across all 7 in competitive Counter-Strike. We'll see if it does go the way that's expected, or if Montana State can maybe bring a little bit back here in our first series of the day when we return. Even better for them, at least it was not even their map selection, Inflict.
Yeah, Overpass though, that is going to be RIT's map pick, and as you stated before, heading into the break, RIT's like among all 7, Overpass is their favorite map. Even their Division 1 roster, Division 3rd, All of them, they just absolutely love Overpass, and considering the performance that they just gave us on Mirage, Overpass is going to be even more lethal for Montana. And Montana State, they're going to be starting on defense, so maybe that's something positive to look at. Have the better side and maybe go off on a great start. Because if you don't start out good, if you let RIT go with the flow, go with the momentum that they gained from Mirage, it's going to be quickly over.
My problem looking at this is saying that Overpass has looked so good for RIT in the past. I don't see any reason why that's going to change here. And Montana State hasn't shown me any reason why that will change. I want to get your thoughts. Given the map selection, is there anything that you think could be a deciding factor in favor of Montana State, or is it just going to be done?
I mean, honestly, the only thing I can probably come up with is unpredictability, because Montana State, again, RAT, they're either going to be overconfident that bites them in the back, or Montana State, they're going to be completely unpredictable and bring something totally out of the playbook, in which RAT wouldn't have really expected, considering the performance that Montana just gave us on Mirage. But other than that, with the consistent team play that we saw from RAT, and the individual capabilities of their players as well, it's not looking great for Montana.
So, the question is, what changes? Montana State kicking things off. I'm not going to say well, but better than could have been. For some reason, our overlay has mixed up the team that won map 1. I will do my best to fix it. I make no promises over the close future, but just remember, RIT won map number 1, 13-1, and they are currently starting off on this CT side. I say that as Kova finds a clean double P250. Wait a second, this is a completely different pistol. I also say that while noting that everybody has an R8 for RIT, and everybody's also dead for RIT. So, maybe deserved, I think.
Yeah, all right. Do a decent chunk of damage, but no, that's just troll, honestly. Alright, they though conceding their first pistol round of the game and their first round on overpass as well. And this is exactly what Montana State sort of needed as well. RIT now is sort of letting that first round get away from their hands, and once again investing all into R8s. But Montana State, they need to use this overconfidence of RIT against them. They need to ensure that they can stack up a few rounds behind it and have worked something off of that, because RIT, they're starting to get a bit too overconfident from the looks of it. All five players are R8, no shields, with no armor whatsoever, no utility. They're just trying
Oh
to
no.
kill, and well, okay, they found one.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh. Oh no. Uh, Alright, not the greatest of weaponry. And they found a gap because an attempted flank is going to take too long. There's one player alone on the A site. They're having help come. You can see in the far left of your screen, far in Fountain. But the problem is that help is very, very delayed. Emo Man swinging here, R8 in hand. Will they win their fight? No, they will be shut down. It will be 4 R8s, even with Chutang and company having them available. They will go onto the R8 instead of the MP9, and it's going to work for them. They are knowledgeably going on towards the revolver pistol, and no identity setting up a flank towards heaven, and it seems like it's going to work. The jump out going to be fairly well timed by Kolva. The issue is the timing still going the way of RIT, I say, as... Oh no, nobody has a kit. That's the round. They missed it by a second.
How?
RIT's gonna win by a
How?
pair of their chinny chin chins.
Oh my.
And in your dead state.
Well, alright, they somehow pull a round out of nowhere with just R8s, and they had none of them had armored. They didn't even buy a single flash. They just fought head on with those R8s over towards middle, got a couple of frags, retrieved those MP9s, pushed over towards connector. They had that freeze real estate available to them. The beast's site was completely left open for them to plant onto, and that flank over towards the end of things, that one kill, no kit on the side of Montana State, it all somehow got put into place perfectly for RIT to just to win one round straight back. And now they're fully invested as well.
Will end your dead by anything with this? Oh, okay. There's my answer. I'm sorry I asked, I guess. That's just an atrocity. And Johnny Boy is left basically alone, playing forward. Fainted finds a nice headshot on a 5th skip. That'll actually be a gun that can be recovered. that gun being picked up. I don't know if they're aware that bathrooms can currently be occupied. AK retrieved. Are they going to have the sound cue of what's behind them? That's the real question. GetWrecked going to set up what is the correct smoke. They don't set up the incorrect lineup, and oh, there's GetWrecked setting up from behind. Finding the headshot they were looking for. Notably okay, 1 versus 3. They're going to be notably dead in about a quarter of a second. That's exactly what happens. GetWrecked. Nice little 3-piece. And RIT, they're second.
Yeah. Again, it seems like Fainted's the one leading the charge from the front. Well, this time around, actually joined by Kolwa. Kolwa did a decent chunk of damage in the pistol round and continues to do so. He's found a couple of frags in, I believe, each of these rounds, but I'm not entirely sure how many. But RIT now again, it seems like they were just trolling for the first couple of rounds, but as soon as they were allowed to buy fully into the rifles, they've done so, not wasting any resources whatsoever. 2 tank fully invested as well. Ooh, conceding a little bit of damage, but I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna matter at all. As RIT now start to look to head over towards the B side, all 4 players stacked over there. Get Wrecked going to be the solo player holding connector, while Kolwa is the one that finds the first blood.
There's some support here. P250 out. There's the shotgun I was talking about. Emo
Oh,
Man has it out
yeah.
and maybe able to find another one through the smoke. The reason the shotgun actually is so broken, not only distance with repeated damage, but also the damage it can do through the smoke. Somehow, notably okay, wins that fight point blank. But the bomb still in this general vicinity has not been planted just yet. Finally, they'll find the kill that should allow it to be planted just so. But Johnny Boy setting up a flank of their own in through the mini position, looking for damage. They'll find it. They won't find the kill. No Identity picks up their 3rd on the round and makes this reasonable to pick up. And your dead has dropped. Low HP for both of them. Basically 1 health for each. Nade thrown forward. That'll kill him. No, run away. He's dead.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll be honest. At least all of these rounds are entertaining. Not a single one of these rounds has been dull to watch or cast over. But I'm pretty sure that's not the case for Montana. They're probably absolutely annoyed by the fact how they're losing rounds. This round they lose by a grenade in a 1 versus 1. The second round, the first round that they lost, they didn't have a kit, and they lost to R8. So R8, they're probably just playing with the minds of Montana State right now, because sure, losing with a terrible scoring line is one thing, but losing while you're getting trolled with various things, that's just another low.
Oh, and we're already going to see the bomb planted. It's been about 20 seconds. Bomb plant, shotgun point blank again loses a fight. 0 for 2 thus far. I'd love to see it, as would Slayer if he was here. And this round is already a foregone conclusion. 32 HP combined in the final 2 rounds of Montana State. Make it just 17 for Notably Okay, who was stuck on the slabs and is going to go on a board in seconds. RIT is just legging it down, and it's working every single time. Nothing Montana State can do will stop it.
Yeah, already sort of just running through Montana right now, and this is their own map pick. Sure, they conceded 1 round, which is equivalent to the rounds they lost on map number 1 in total. But I doubt they're gonna be losing any more. Maybe the next pistol where they start, if they decide to troll with R8s as well. But considering how the economy is looking on the side of Montana State, how the purchases are looking, it's not been pretty. And the individual kills, sure, they've actually been showing up from the side of Montana State from time to time, but they just can't seem to follow up behind.
Ooh, and you're dead. It's opener. It's a start, and then he immediately gets dusted down. Johnny Boy on a flank with an XM. This is where it can start to pay off. Distance shots will still work. You need to be able to land multiple at the same time. That flank will only pay off for 1 originally. But it doesn't mean this round's over by any means. I don't think he's aware there's a player just patiently waiting for him down in the connector. He's not. He dies. GetWrecked finds the kill. And the round again goes RIT's way. And just to make things worse, Emo Man gets a bomb plane. He almost died to a nade from his teammate. That would have been funny, but it's RIT's 5th.
Yeah, it's like we're in a sitcom at this point. I'm not complaining though. Kind of enjoying my sofa seat here while we witness all of this go down. RIT now now their economy is starting to look strong as well. Montana State not so much on their side. Fainted. He's done a good amount of damage with an op on Mirage, but now he's out with a scout, possibly looking to replicate it. Sure, it's not the same amount of damage that he can they could have done with an op, but it's going to be something. Golva, he's been playing rather decent in this game so far. Not going to be the same case in this round, particularly
Gosh.
as 3 players already gone from Montana.
Oh, get wrecked. Opens the door. We'll just wait here as well. He closes it and he's gonna sit behind it. I love this. Just stay around. No reason to leave. Nade will open up the smoke. This is where things become a problem. Gun barrel somehow
Oh no!
not seen. Notably okay will survive there and pick up a kill. But it doesn't mean that the round's a likely scenario to go their way. Even if you close the door, you can still be seen through it if it's open like that. I don't know what the thought process there was. The round's done. It's just how often or how many kills Johnny Boy can find, and/or whether he can survive at the end of this. The answer: none, and no, he can't. 6-1, alright.
Well, it's not like Notably Okay had much of a choice there except closing the door or maybe just wide swinging there. They had to go for something, and saving an XM4, I'm not entirely sure how much worth that would have been, but they're gonna be forcing into this one as well. Montana State, it seems like they're just pretty much forcing into every single round at this point. And they don't have a lot of hope, understandably so maybe, but still, the weaponry, the utility, no defuse kits as well in the past 2 rounds. I believe they had one 3 rounds ago, but other than that, and that's pretty much the only defuse kit we've seen so far in this game. Alrighty, though, again, they're looking very comfortable. That this time around, they're not playing as aggressive as we've usually seen them play. They're taking their time, but eventually they're gonna head on over to restore this, where 2 players await them from the side of Montana State.
Ooh, who's set up by Fated, finds an opening kill. The issue is in doing so, they've left the A site completely undefended, minus a very small amount of bathrooms control. Keep an eye again on your map. Kolva's here, isolated. P215 hand finds a headshot, a follow-up, there's a kill. Bomb plant denied, but it still becomes a problem. M4 is the only rifle available.
Ooh.
Fated finds one, but it's about all they'll find on the round. The same with Kova. And Johnny Boy's left alone. They've recovered a rifle as well, but I don't know how likely it's going to be.
Yeah, had Kova gotten that kill onto fifth skip, maybe it could have been something. They would have had 2 players alive with potential 2 rifles as well, but fifth skip goes down in a 1 versus 2. Still possible. Johnny Boy actually has a defuse kit, so they're not completely out of it, but they're sort of getting desperate at this point. They're gonna have to go deal with both of these players and hop on the defuse. Well, they couldn't even deal with one of them, so the defuse was far too along the road. RIT secured their 7th. They've ensured that by the end of the first half, it's going to be their lead, but we sort of almost knew that already. The question is if they can get us to an 11-1 scoreline yet again or not.
I mean, if you're looking at this from the RIT side, it's more than reasonable for them to pick up another set of rounds. They looked perfectly fine coming into this map. The only mistake they really made was picking up the R8s, not the RITs, to start off the map, and then they ended up winning the second round anyway, even with the R8s. So I'm going to say it's significantly more likely for them to look good doing it, but the difference is how consistent can they be? We saw them with a little bit of a lack of consistency back in map number 1. I don't think that's going to be the case here. Great nade lands, no identity, just legs him down with a UMP of all weapons. And again, you see good openings for RIT, and B site already in their control. We'll see another bomb plant.
It just feels like Montana State are playing hopelessly right now. Like, and that moment particularly when that nade landed onto the player, Notably Okay. I believe it was Notably Okay. They didn't even try to move. They didn't even try to take that fight head on. They just sort of gave up on their life, and it seems like that's sort of the mindset that the whole team of Montana are in right now. It seems like they've sort of given up, and that's just not going to work. Alrighty, well, fifth skip actually surprisingly doesn't have a positive stat line, but nonetheless, alrighty, they've been steamrolling through Montana State. They did so on map number 1. They're doing it on their own map, which we sort of anticipated as well, but still can't completely give up on the game where you could potentially still make the comeback happen. There's still a small buffer available for them to work with, even in the first half alone, but Fainted, well, at least he's not giving up. He's found the first blood, but the rest of his team, well, they're gonna start to follow, starting with Johnny Boy.
So, the question is, what happens around A site afterwards? Emo Man finds Notably Okay, despite the very valiant efforts. The nade a little early, and Anti-Dead's left alone. Loss in hand. Does damage on the 3 players, but can't actually find the kill. And it's really just back to that 2v4 scenario. We've seen this multiple times over for Montana State. Fainted has to wait for their flank to start to set in. It seems like RIT is aware of the possible flank. GetWrecked watching this, and MP9's just not going to survive there. Not going to happen. Fainted even finds one before being taken out, but it's not from point blank. You're not going to find multiple kills from multiple players all at about the same time. RIT 9-1 now, and with no signs of stopping anytime soon.
No signs at all, and with only 4 rounds away from concluding the series, but at least 4 rounds away, and likely as well with how things are going. RAT, they just look dominant. I don't believe RAT have RAT lost a game so far.
They've lost a series. They lost it to Hawaii.
Okay,
But that
so
was
well,
their Division 3 roster when taking on Hawaii. So the Division 1 roster's technically not lost a map. They've only played like 2 maps or 3 maps, something like that.
they played that against Montana State as well. They didn't even lose a round actually, so
Yep.
technically they're yet to lose a round as well. So that's some stat line going in their favor. The all right being brought out yet again, but Montana State they didn't win a single round against the Division One roster. They've only won 2 rounds on 2 maps so far against the Division Three roster. So overall, no matter how you look at it, it's just not pretty whatsoever from Montana State. Not even in this round with only one player left alive,
Oh my.
notably okay. Well, he's gone in the grave as well. In the hands of Get Wrecked, and oh, you are dead, got knifed. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
I think he was sitting in a smoke trying to just wait on site and hope for a sneaky defuse. And that's how they died. But even your connector flank was shut out before it even started. I don't think we can phrase this any worse for Montana State. They have won 2 rounds in the, if I'm doing my math correctly, 26 that we have played, or 25 that we have played. To understate the obvious, it's not looking good for them, but the other issue, they're not having any signs of obvious life in a lot of these rounds. They're having difficulties overall setting in with those clear and obvious advantages that we would think they would have. Andrew Dead swinging here, finds an opening kill on to Get Wrecked, but they've given up main control for it. Johnny Boy finds a follow-up, so this does become a, well, 3v4 after he finds a trade back, but again, reasonable for Montana State, and they have that flank set up early here. This becomes a more than likely round to go their way.
Yeah, it does. Montana State have three players on the flank right now. Sure, they're not exactly aligned with each other, but Fainted on the site has been able to find one, leaving this in 2 versus 2 now. As Jutang and Flitzkip both find a kill each to their name. You're dead. Gets a massive frag actually onto Jutang, leaving only Fifth Skip behind. He does have a decent chunk of utility on him, an R8 and an AK to work with, so this is still not completely out of their hands. Kolwa, the key player in this, as he's the one holding the defuse kit, he's going to be the one that Fifth Skip needs to deal with primarily. But your dead is going to be the one that peeks out first, and in the smoke, the defuse is going in, and he's going to get it.
Got it. You will stick it through. A little bit of a late reaction for Fifth Skip. Yes, you can blow up those smokes, but you have to be able to whip out the nade in time to do so. And the spray would have landed if Fifth Skip didn't run out of ammo after the first fight. Montana State put a second round on the board, and a nice one to cap off the first half. Funnily enough, they won the first round and the last round of the first half. Nothing else.
Yeah. Well, at least it keeps some like single digit percentage probability of hopes alive for them still. But if they want that to continue, they're gonna need to win this pistol round. Otherwise, it's gonna be pretty much done and dusted. RAT yet again out with the R8s, investing into a flash as well this time around is going to be a fifth skip. But other than that, it's pretty plain and simple. Johnny Boy going to be the first one to find a frag. Now the bomb is gonna go down with ease. Man, sure he finds one, but the rest of his teammates start to fall, leaving only Jutang behind.
So kids, what have we learned today? R8s are not good against other pistols. However, when you use them against rifles or SMGs, maybe you have a shot. Oh, True Tank finds somebody. Body shot, body shot. That finds a first for them. 1v4, by the way. This would be a very Herculean task. If he finds a second. Fainted gets clotheslined by a very high caliber revolver shot to the noggin. But it's not gonna matter. Montana State put a third on the board, and RIT are shut down on yet another revolver attempt.
Kids, R8 is effective against pistols if you only hit headshots. Otherwise, do not try it at home. This was done by professional stuntmen who have just too much of a massive lead to not do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do it again, and I believe that they are. Get Wrecked has a deagle in his hand, but the rest of the players all are 8 so far. And well, we're gonna have to wait and find out if the theory of R8s being good against SMGs and rifles works
No.
out. Not so far.
Johnny took 21 damage from an R8 shot to the leg. After that, very little has gone the way of RIT. Emo Man finds one, looking for a second here. Johnny Boy needs to be a little bit more cognizant of their current whereabouts. A
Don't
shot
tell
through
me.
the wall. Oh my goodness. I don't think you realize
Oh,
the
no.
levels of that one. Fiskip just hit a shot onto and you're dead through the wall while aiming at somebody else and has picked up a shotgun in the process. Now from a distance, he's going to finish what he started, sending down Fainted, and no kit available, doesn't even need it. Get Wrecked with a Deagle will find one of his own. Fifth Skip finds 2 separate kills in the round. One onto a player he's looking at, one onto a player he originally wasn't and hit through the wall, and follows up with a shotgun from 15 meters because it's Counter-Strike 2. And Get Wrecked finds a double with a Deagle. RIT win their 11th round in the most unlikely way I think we could have foreseen.
I think our theory was correct, and we've just proven something from in CS. Nobody else discovered it. We're the first one to do so. I'm glad to have been a part of this with you, Daniel. But RAD, well, only 2 rounds remaining. They're gonna be fully buying into rifles this time around, except Eno, man. He's still egoistic with that R8. He's been the one that has hit the most shots with it as well, so kind of understandable why he decided to go with that. But Montana State, now with their backs against the wall, they're desperately buying anything that they possibly could have scraped together a buy right there. And so far it's worked out. Get Wrecked whiffing his shots, losing a teammate as well, and eventually he doesn't have help, but 2 players have already fallen. RIT.
Yeah, and with those 2 players falling, they give up basically most of mid-control. Swing from below. No Identity finds another for themselves in the round. Help from Chutang. They find 2. Everybody's stepping up for frags, and there's the reswing from No Identity. Almost finding the kill, but not actually locking it in. It is a Deagle versus an R8. Now, notably, OK has more than a likely possibility to pick up any other gun. There's like 3 AKs and 2 M4s within 15 meters of them. Emo Man, not near a single dead body. Everybody died within like 15, 20 square meters around party, mid, and, well, the connector entrance.
Well, I'm pretty sure Emo Man just gave away his location. He shot a shot right there. Absolutely unnecessary, but the just the confidence. I'm not even sure if I want to call it confidence or ego at this point. Eno Man probably wants to take this fight with an R8, and he still wins it with a headshot through that garbage can. And well, RIT now on match point and series point. It's going to be a clean 2-0 victory for them if they can conclude it out right here, or well, in any rounds that follows, if it follows. Montana State, 3 rounds won so far. That's 2 more than they did on their own map pick, so that's something maybe look at positively. But other than that, it's just been too good from the side of RIT across the board.
Yeah, RIT's looked indomitable. Their main team has in other leagues, and now their D3 team is here in at least EGF early. They have had some difficulties against both UVU and Hawaii, so there are caveats to that conversation. Somehow Get Wrecked misses 2 separate op shots, yet still wins the fight with a P2000 against Johnny Boy, and notably OK is in a 1 versus 4. MP7 in hand will hit 3 or 4 shots, and we'll lose the fight. That's done and dusted. 13-3 here on Overpass, 13-1 back on Mirage, 2-0 RIT.
Yeah, only conceding 4 rounds collectively in those 2 maps. RIT, they put on a dominant show, and entertaining one as well, nonetheless. With especially in map number 2, with those R8s, with those nade kills, and a couple of knives in there as well. So RIT, they enjoyed themselves thoroughly as while they won in a confident manner. Montana State, though, not a pretty ride for them so far. The last time around they played RIT, not a single round win, but understandably so. I actually wouldn't say understandably so. Losing every single round, not even winning one, that's kind of mad. But going on to win only 4 against the Division 3 team, I'm not sure if that's worse or better. Exactly.
I mean, you did better than you did against the Division 1 team. So on paper, you got more rounds against a team that you should have gotten more rounds against. Should you have won the game? It's up in the air. Sometimes you could have a university field 17 teams, and all 17 would be better than a university singular team. Sometimes vice versa, where one team is better than all 17 from the other uni. You never really know. We'll see what the thoughts are from RIT, though, as to how they think the series went, and, well, what they think about the rest of their season. There's only 1 week left for RIT here in the fall split. We'll have Chutang on the other side of this break. RIT, step in, step up, and knock it out of the park here in our first series of the day. 13-1 on Mirage, 13-3 over on Overpass, and they looked clean as ever. To get our thoughts, at least illustrated, we have Chutang joining us. Very interesting jersey, to say the very least there, Chutang. Hey there, Chutang, how you doing? You can't hear me? Oh no, this is bad.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh no. Hold up. I'm gonna join the call with him and see if this works. Chutang, can you make sure that the top of your screen
And now I
is
can
not
hear them.
muted? So, yeah, Inflict can't hear me. I have an idea. Just a second. Now we should be good. Now Chutang can hear us all. We're good to go.
Yes.
Yay!
I just joined your call. Can you drag me in?
No, I just joined you. I'm in the call. Hi, Chutang. How you doing?
We are.
Oh no, Chutang, you can leave the. It's fine.
can't
I can
hear
hear you on the call. Yeah.
Drag me into your Discord.
What? Does he not realize that
What?
his headset's the one that's not working?
Probably.
He has no idea. It's his headset.
Do we
that's not
point
working.
it out?
We're in the same Discord call right now.
What?
Do we?
We're hi. How you doing?
Wait.
Wait for it. Wait for it. He's realizing it's his headset. I was just talking to him a minute and a half ago, I promise. He just left the call and rejoined. Okay, now I can't hear him at all.
Oh god. Wait, no, but
No, his headset's
headset
off.
was
Your
dead.
headset is off. Headset off.
If his headset was off earlier, we
Wait,
wouldn't be able
wait,
to listen to him. Wait.
On today's episode of EGFC Charades, wait for him. He's turning it on. He's realizing it wasn't on. He still can't hear us.
No. Wait, I can show it better. I have a light. Look. This. It turns off. Do
Okay,
it again.
So for some quick
Turns on.
context, people who are watching the stream, we run our broadcast through an application called vMix, and he joins like a little call link that I send him. Usually we have some issues with that. That's what we were sorting out. That's why the little zeros at the bottom right corner of the screen were zeros for more than a second and a half. Usually when we do that, we just drag him into the Discord call and we sort it that way. The problem is we're in the Discord call and he still can't hear us, and I'm not sure why. So this now becomes a little bit more of a problem than it originally was, and Chutang has no idea what we were saying. So we're going to presume that A, he feels good about the win, B, they're happy to win it, and C, the game went well overall. We're going to send it to a quick break again. When we come back, maybe we have the interview working. If not, I make no promises, and we could come back with Utah Valley versus University of Hawaii Part 2 from last week's 1-1 bout. We'll see you in either a couple minutes or more than that. We'll determine when we return. be one of the more interesting things of all time. Apologies for the technical issues. You also couldn't hear the first half of my intro on that one. We are currently in a Discord call with Chutang. Well, he's on his phone and his computer is on our little software, so we can see him and he can hear us from below him. So if he's looking down, that's the reason why. Chutang, thank you very much for joining us and surviving through the technical issues. To start things off, how fun were the tech issues? Was it like weird sound bugs? Luckily, it didn't happen in
I
game.
didn't hear anything. I just couldn't. I didn't even realize you were telling me you're in the call. Get Wrecked has just messaged me now. Just saying all this other stuff. It's like, yeah.
Oh, I can explain that one. We have a 2-minute delay on, so he probably just saw everything happen. That would explain that one. So
Yeah.
to start things off, a little bit more on topic for the game. Nice little 2-0 for you guys. The maps are really boring. Why'd you have to do that to us? Come on, Mirage Overpass, the Collegiate Special, at least 2/3 of it against a team that hasn't won a map. Come on, man.
We didn't know that. So we were also told. So here's the thing: before the match started, we were also told before we played Auburn that they hadn't won a map, that they're bad. But then we went into the lobby and half the team was level 10. So we were saying maybe we just be lied to again by MJB, right? And so we decided to play the maps that not even the maps we were best at, but they banned Vertigo. We would have picked it at least. But yeah. So we end up with something just really conventional.
Is that why when you realized that maybe that you weren't being lied, is that why you pulled out those R8s in map number 2 and so many of them?
Okay, so that was my idea. I think after Mirage went, and it's kind of a joke within us that our Mirage is really bad. After Mirage went as it did, I said, you know what? I forgot we were starting T side, to be honest, though. So I thought we were just gonna be able to hold angles with our R8s. But then the second round, I was just like, look, we gotta save, right? People know me forced by deagles, but we all have the R8 equipped, so I gotta do the R8 again. And we actually won the round. The round went our favor. They didn't have a kid, so yeah.
And you won the round in the second half as well with the R8 with 3 R8s, and so we were actually working on a theory that R8s are bad against pistols, but they were good against rifles and SMGs, and you just proved it to us, honestly. But
yeah, I think in some way, yeah, because when you're pistols, everyone's just running around, everyone's just running and gunning, they don't care, right? But when you got the rifles out, people have to stop and shoot sometimes. So
yeah, then that's true. But again, I'm gonna come back to our little interview incident. Did you understand what me and TDL were trying to say when we showed you our headsets?
Oh, the charades.
I did not know. I know you put it up like this, but I did not actually know what you were trying to tell me.
We were trying to presume that your headset was off or just not working. Because
when
I went like this and this, we just couldn't hear you and you couldn't hear us.
Well, I think I didn't see you do that, but I saw Inflict kind of do this with his headphones. I was trying to in Discord trying to work things out. I think by the time when you were doing it, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
It was fun.
It was on.
Okay.
But yeah.
So the weird thing is, we could hear you, and you have a headset mic, right?
Yeah.
So
I took it off.
We could hear you, but you couldn't hear us.
Yeah,
and I don't know why. So then we joined
I think
the Discord call.
I think Discord was having problems. Like I wasn't even getting like the sound effects, like I couldn't hear like the join voice call sound, whatever.
That's a Discord moment and a half. Final question for you to close things out. You guys seemed a little bit more confident overall, and by the way, I also have an explanation. Auburn played UVU back-to-back and Hawaii, so that's the reason they hadn't won a map.
We did take a map off UVU, I think, though. We won Overpass against them.
Yeah. The question to close things out, I was talking about Inflict, about the rest of your season schedule. There is only 1 week left to play, and you play Hawaii. So, thoughts on that one? Apart from the fact that they are very, very far away from you, the fact that they are tied for the #1 team in the league right now, any thoughts or opinions for your series next week?
My thoughts and opinions. Their first time against us was a complete fluke. Easy team. We will 2-0 them 26-0 on the next map.
Oh god.
They're in the chat. They have to be watching the stream. Their match is coming up, so they want to see what's happening.
They are.
I
guarantee you, at least Blaze is watching this. That's great. All I'm saying, that could be factually correct, and you could sub in the D1 roster. So.
If it was true, yeah. Maybe I should play actual CS in these games at the end. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing a little bit of trolling in Overpass, but I think I should, just so MGB finally does it.
Well, I don't
Please,
think.
I beg of you.
How has RIT been doing the D1 roster in NACE? I haven't seen their
I'm
score. Are
sure
they still
they're
alive in
doing
playoffs?
just fine. I'm not in the loop on that. Someone will have to
Okay.
tell me.
I'll go look
They're,
at that
they're in
later.
play. Them and D2.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
All right, Chutang. Final question for you. Anybody want to shout out? Any final thoughts in the series?
anybody,
Any
I
final
want to
bits
shout
of
out. So I'll
hilarity?
first shout out
Tech
the
issues?
entire team, except for Emo Man, because he keeps buying the XM, but then doesn't actually go for kills with it.
Yes.
I would also like to shout out King Dar, who is one of No Identity's friends, because he just keeps saying stuff to us during the game. That's always nice.
As you should.
Yeah, and that's about it. MJB for having us here, because I wouldn't be able to do this with you and have a very cool Discord moment if he wasn't putting us here. But I have to shout him out.
MGB. Shout out
Yep.
MGB. All right, Chutang. Thank you very much for jumping in on the interview, and again, congrats on the victory.
Thank you. Have a great stream.
That was fun. That was thoroughly enjoyable. I have to say there, Inflict. Final thoughts on this one. I gotta say, what are you thinking? This is a game, at least moving forward. UVU takes on Hawaii, top two teams, each of them only dropping one map into each other. What happens coming up?
I'm honestly just really excited to see how the match is gonna play out, especially after the trash talk we just witnessed. And he emphasized on the fact that he knows they're watching.
He knows they're watching.
He wanted them to listen. He wanted them to listen to it. That's the sort of confidence you expect from competitors, and
Yeah.
I honestly loved it. So, well, we're gonna have to wait and see if Hawaii can take them up for a challenge, but that's for later. Before that, we have a match between UU against Hawaii. So Hawaii, they have one more opponent before they go up against RIT.
I'm looking in the captain's channel as well, and they're trying to hover a best of 3. I really want to see these teams in a best of 3, but I don't know if Tyler's gonna let them, because as of right now, these two teams are tied at the top of the standings. They've played the exact same amount of games. They have played and won the exact same amount of games, and they played each other last week, and the only difference is 3 rounds. That was the difference. 3 rounds between these teams in 2 full maps. I want to see a best of 3. I'm going to totally go GM Tyler in like 2 seconds and see if we can get it. If that doesn't happen, we'll be back with our last BO2 of the day, Hawaii and UVU. It's also UVU's only 2nd streamed game. We'll see how well it goes for them, or maybe how poorly when we return from the break. Into the game. Apologies for the brief delay. I did not know the game started. Teams totally didn't tell me. Hey, shout out teams. You should totally ping me in the Discord channel when you start the games. That's what we do. Anyway, game's underway, and Hawaii already up 2-1. As you can see on our little... Hold up. As you can see on our little scoreboard here, it was indeed University of Hawaii to lose the pistol, follow up the conversion victory, and bonus round victory, now leading off to a little bit more momentum, we'll say here. Inflict. This is Hawaii and UVU week 2 in week 7. This is the back-to-back times they've played each other.
Yeah, both of these teams currently contested for the #1 spot, having lost only a single map, and that due to only each other. So this is going to be either a very decisive series right here, or we're gonna have another yet again time, which is going to be which is going to be mad annoying for both of these and for us as well. You know, having nothing decisive except a round differential. But Mike alongside Bullseye, they're definitely providing for their team in this round, particularly gonna find the first 3 frags, followed up by Excalibur. I'm not
Livrin.
sure how to
Livrin.
Livren. All right. Well, different thing file too, and well, University of Hawaii off to a great start on their Utah's map pick.
This is Utah Valley University's map selection. They chose Vertigo, UVU, picking into this one, I gotta say, a little surprising for me. Not the most outlandish thing in the world, but still notable to say the very least. I also have to look at this from Utah's perspective and say, not the greatest of beginnings to this. You win the pistol and you can't win anything past that for the next couple of rounds. Bullseye swings that. Does take a little bit of damage. Doesn't do anything on the shot. Not the end of the world. Op, however, misses snipe. You're going to want that one back. The op actually will be retrieved. So I say that. He actually gets it back. Count it. And they lose it again.
Shazane was the one that found the first blood for his team, but immediately traded out. University of Hawaii now with the back foot at a man disadvantage as Utah Valley have already made their way onto the B side. The bomb gonna go down as well. Not a lot of utility available for them to work with in post plan. That final crack grenade is out. A Molotov and a smoke to keep the players of University of Hawaii at bay for the time being, but eventually they're gonna head in for the retake, and Mike is going to be the first one to fall, followed soon by Jack, leaving only Livern behind, who is going to be good for one, but in Utah Valley confirmed their second round, bouncing straight back in and keeping things close in this one.
Yeah, to say, looking at this at least from the Hawaii perspective, that round a little less than ideal. You lose mid control. You had 2 separate players try and bring you up, and it missed. And I was wondering what the over/under was going to be on how long it took us to pick up an XM. This has been a conversation for multiple weeks here, Slayer. Here it has been 5 rounds. Well, 6, technically, counting this one. Bullseye is going to smoke off mid and play close range to the XM. This basically works 90% of the time, and I hate it. But honestly, it's a good strategy until they fix how shotguns work with smokes, because they basically just punch a small hole rather than a bullet hole. It becomes a full slug hole. And you may not even have to punch that hole. John's, yeah, dead. Goodbye. That's how broken it is. 2 shots from 15 meters.
Yeah, a clean one. A pickle head has conceded some damage as well. And well, that's Snipe actually going to go down. That's going to allow them to head over towards the A side. Sure, there are 3 players available to defend it, but that ramp space that they've gotten for almost just that 1 kill, and now utility being invested to head into. But Bullseye was massive with that XM4. You've talked about its impact so far, and that's the only weapon that has found kills for University of Hawaii in this round particularly. Bullseye popped out that weapon, but Mike still continues to provide kills. Going to be the one that finishes things off with the op playing around the smoke, and University of Hawaii ensure that the lead continues to go for them, and Utah Valley University can catch up.
Yeah, Mikey, nice little 2-piece there, and more importantly, allowing their team to step up. You're having Hawaii get into a little bit more of a rhythm. That last round may have been an outlier, and Utah is going to, I think, call an understandable timeout here. I'm looking at this again from Utah's perspective and saying, you've won the pistol round, you've won... I'm not going to say an outlier. Hold up. They're all switching back to their knives. I'm going... Okay. We're sitting over here until they stop switching off their knives to the pistols every single 2 seconds. But Hawaii, with the Rainbow Warriors, they are starting off well to most of these rounds. The only difference is they aren't able to follow up towards the middle part of the round as consistently as they'd like. They're having good closeouts to most of them, but they need to be better in the mid-round. You have a good opening and good closing, but you can only close off well if you have that good consistent factor in the mid-round.
Yeah. And with Utah Valley's economy now on the brink of, well, not even on the brink. It's actually faltered completely. Those just barely managed to pull some scraps together and make something happen. We have a Deagle, a couple of AKs, a couple of Leals. Well, one of them already gone by Mikey. it was very effective to close things out in the last round. Continues to prove worthy in the hands of Mikey and Bullseye. Well, he's given his audio key away, but going to back off as the smoke fades. Now it does have some help available, so they're successfully going to be able to keep Picklehead at bay for the time being. Picklehead, he's playing patiently. He needs somebody to make a move from the other side to allow him to roam around a bit freely, but that's just not going to be the case as Jack at Bullseye continues to eliminate the players of Utah Valley.
2v5, they are stuck at the bottom of the B stairs. There's even smoke in front of them. This is going to be a fairly decent flash for them to get in, but what do you do off the back of it? You just have to rush it. It seems like that's the call. Vision is there, however, from Hawaii. They shot from Vandals, they find one. They're patiently waiting a Ninja. There's a double from Fnipe. They were patient there the entirety of that round. That patience pays off in dividends. 5 on the board for Hawaii, with no signs of stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, University of Hawaii. So far, it seems like they know where they want to take those fights. They've been extremely decisive about the angles that they wanted to hold and when they, and the timings that they wanted to back off or play together. It's just it seems like they're very well coordinated. They know exactly what they want to do, how they want to counter the strategy of Utah Valley as well. And oh, that's a bad smoke. That might cost them a little bit, but thankfully. Sorry, excuse me. As Utah Valley are headed towards the A side as well, sure, the Molotov's going to keep them at bay. It's sort of an emergency one right there, but pistols are starting to deal damage as 2 players have already fallen for Hawaii.
That's a step in the right direction. This nade, though, may be lethal. I don't think there's any HP remaining for the elite NEAT. It's not going to be the case. They will fall. Ghost is low. Sean's is low as well. This becomes a problem. There's no armor for any of these players. And yes, you've gotten the bomb down. Should you lose this round, you have that extra $800 for your loss bonus. But Liverin finds 2 back-to-back, one of them with the nade. And this round seems to be a foregone conclusion. Picklehead is alone. They will find a headshot on Deliverin, and that is all. Hawaii will indeed lock in the round. A much closer than it A should have been, and B, they wanted it to be. But it's still a 6th on the board for Hawaii. Regardless, just costs them a little bit of money.
Yeah, and this round being close sort of could have just been the butterfly effect of University of Hawaii missing that initial smoke. It allowed Utah Valley to just rush straight in. I mean, considering the fact that they only had pistols, they probably would have done so same, but they would have been a little bit more cautious. But right now, they were just heading through a Molotov. They had all the vision that they possibly could have wanted. Hence, they were so chaotic about it as well, which ended up resulting in the fact that Hawaii lost 2 players to get things off. Eventually, they did recover. They built up their lead to a 4-round one now. So Utah Valley still on the back foot. The smokes fade out, and now that this is a full buy for them, they need to ensure that they can make a comeback happen in the first half right now. Otherwise, University of Hawaii is going to run away with the first half.
2 easy picks picked up. Where the heck were those? Ghost finds one and barely loses any HP for it. Bomb's starting to be planted on the backside of the smoke. It seems like a safe position to do so. Nade will go in. Elite NEAT again down low, this time to 30 HP. And Catwalk being occupied for the time being. This needs to be held down with a nice shot. Bullseye finds a double, wants more, and is going for it. Somehow does not hit the head. Hitboxes being what they are, comes back to bite him. Ghost swings up and over, and the shot just barely missed. Ghost takes full advantage of it on ever so much more HP. And they'll switch out for the up to boot. Utah Valley, that's a 3rd round they needed, but again, they need more consistency, because as of right now, 9-3 is not unreasonable for Hawaii.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. I mean, Utah Valley, the last 2 round wins that we've witnessed from them, it could really be just broken down to the fact that there were some weird mistakes that the University of Hawaii made. Like in this particular scenario, Ghosty, he should not have been as important to University of Hawaii as they made it seem. So they, I'm not sure who it was. I believe it was Bullseye who just wanted to hunt that 3rd kill individually for so long that it allowed the rest of the players of his team to be exposed, and Picklehead took complete advantage of it. 2 players fell down, and Ghosty alongside Picklehead went out for a wider peak, and that was just a confident win for them towards the end of things. Utah Valley now yet again off for a good start. They found that first blood, but they have conceded a little bit of damage on Ghosty and a lot of it on Tranze. So, and University of Hawaii, they don't have exactly good weaponry either this time around.
No, it's really just Deagles and this M4 for Mikey. I wouldn't hate Mikey saving this and seeing the Deagles still go for it. They should be able to buy in this next round. If not, still be able to force enough. Headshots doubled up. Goodbye, Elite Neat. That should be about all they find. Jack, however, finds a follow-up. This now becomes a reasonable round. The issue now becomes Shans is on a flank. This could work out as well as it possibly could in the end, but it's not going to matter in the end. Zanlax actually finds 3 kills. Up for 2, scoped in, and then Wix... Well, no scopes, actually. Close range to drop down Mikey. The only one with a rifle, also the last one to fall. Back-to-back for Utah. That's the consistency we've been looking for.
Yeah, still 2 more rounds to go in the first half. University of Hawaii fully investing into this one. An MP9, a FAMAS, 3 M4s. One's going to be the M4A4. But Utah Valley now they're starting to look confident in their ability. They pretty much did the same thing that they did in the round prior to this one, to round number 10, and it worked out absolutely perfectly. They were able to find the first blood, and this time around it didn't even come down to mostly the mistakes of University of Hawaii. It was just Utah Valley's capabilities, and well, the trades are going to come through. Utah Valley going to be the ones that come out with an upper hand in that one, with the Elite Need being the only player of theirs to have fallen, while University of Hawaii have lost 2 of their own. They don't have a lot of utility to work with either. A couple of flashes, a frag grenade to defend both of these sites, while they don't have a lot of information either. Picklehead going to make things worse. At that range? What the hell?
MP9 is just better, I guess, and the M4 sets up as well. Bullseye finds one, almost flashed off the angle, actually readjusts here. With the nade, sees another play on the backside of triple, could be able to find the kill there. Zanlax down to 19 HP with the op. It's basically 1 shot versus 1 shot, and it's Snipe with the MP9 to find the singular shot they were looking for. Hawaii end up storming back. Great kill in mid, sets it up, and then Omino's shortly fall thereafter. Hawaii, they will shut down the very short streak of Utah and go back on their board.
Well, the University of Hawaii ensure that they're going to have a lead heading into the second half, but with one final round to conclude things out, Utah Valley could still keep things close. 7-5 is very much recoverable, especially if you win a pistol round. That gets eliminated almost immediately. Then an 8-4, that could be problematic, especially considering the fact that we're in MR12 right now. You don't have as much of a buffer zone available to make a comeback with. So having being down 4 rounds, and if you lose the pistol, that's going to be even worse. So Utah Valley are desperately trying to ensure that they can keep things as close as possible. A 1-on-1 trade goes through. They've done a good amount of damage on the rest of the players of the University of Hawaii, as well as the bomb finally starts to go down. The Molotov going to deal a lot of damage onto Picklehead, but not enough to finish him off.
No, again, not lethal damage. Picklehead backs away, goes into a Molotov, and survives with 1 singular point of HP. And they'll stay alive. That's the most important part. With utility still in hand, they'll line it up and start to eliminate what could be possibilities of this retake. Smoke towards short misses. Bullseye now getting aggressive, shuts down 1. Great start to this for Hawaii, but 1 is traded back. A 2v2, make it this same 2v2 scenario we've seen in multiple rounds prior. And the swing forward, trying to throw off the smoke diffuse. It may very well work. Livrin sitting in front of it, ends up getting knifed 1 singular time, but it wasn't on their back, and they will just narrowly live off the back of it. Picklehead had 1 HP, Livrin had 3, and Hawaii will have their 8th at the halftime split.
Wow. Well, now side switch. University of Hawaii going to be the one that are gonna have to infiltrate the side. Excuse me, I'm still kind of in disbelief about how that round went. Picklehead survived for so long with just initially 9 HP and then down to even 1. He took 8 damage somehow, only running through a Molotov. And in the end, Livrin won that round only with 3 HP remaining, got knifed once. Had they done a right leg, that would have been actually over for University of Hawaii.
It just wasn't directly to their back. That's why.
I thought it was, but never mind then. Utah Valley, though, now on the back foot. This pistol round is going to be all the more important for them, and it seems like they're showing like it as well. Ghosty, a couple of frags to kick things off for them. Jack has found a trade on the other side of things, but still, Utah Valley now with a man advantage to work with as the bomb goes down.
Flank. This is the thing we were talking about. Sean's finds one. Their position should be noted. Somehow the aggression hasn't been shut down immediately, though. Jack needs to get aggressive, but Sean's trying to tap it through. Jack finds one before re-engaging. And a low HP for Jack, it doesn't even matter. It's a headshot for Sean's. They do not have a kit, but they will have more than enough time to get it back up. And it is indeed the round going the way of Utah Valley. They will pick up their pistol, and more importantly, they will initiate this comeback earlier rather than later. That's the start that they needed to the second half on the CT side of their own map selection.
Yeah. Question is though, will University of Hawaii decide to buy back into this one? They got 4 frags, so they know they did a decent bit of damage onto Utah Valley as well. They got the bomb down as well, so they have some extra money in their bank as well. And it seems like they are. We can already see a couple of SMGs, a couple of Khalils, and an AK. Sure, they don't have a lot of utility. Only 1 flash, 1 Molotov, and a smoke. So that's not going to be a lot to work with, but maybe the weaponry deficit is something that can work out in their favor, since they do have more rifles. Actually, Utah Valley no rifles whatsoever. A couple of XM4s, a couple of 3 SMGs on the rest. So weaponry better on University of Hawaii, but the utility, that's where they're lacking.
Oh, flash lands. That MP9 quick, or MP5 actually, shut down quickly. Zanlex surprisingly decides to back away here. I don't hate this. They're going to give up the bomb site, give up the bomb plant, and then try to retake as a team. I say that as the over-aggression works out. Sean's finds one before taking out, or being taken out, and that retake now immediately initiated. Jack's still in the board from a distance, AK in hand, but only 22 HP to their name. They're up against, again, an XM and the MP9, but they'll disengage. The utility remaining here for Utah is just that flashbang, and from distance, the AK will land for 1, almost a second, but both of them ever so low. The tap from a distance, Jack just narrowly avoids yet another MP9 spray. He will see the head, he will swing for it, he should be able to find the kill, and Ghosts, ironically enough, them turning around ended up being their demise. It seems like the CT half has a little bit too much of a rear end, and Hawaii takes full advantage of it.
Yeah, just again barely closing things out right there. Both of these teams are keeping each other on their toes, keeping them in check. And well, with that loss, Utah Valley's economy is going to be completely broken, so they're not going to be able to buy anything into this one except a couple of pistol upgrades, a couple of flashes as well. But we talked about the lack of utility that University of Hawaii had. They had to make every single piece of nade that they utilized count, and behind that flash was where they got that first frag. Smoke was where they were able where which allowed them to plant the bomb and not have to face as many engagements as they possibly could have while the bomb was going down. So wise utility users coming in from the University of Utah to close things out right there, and right now it's just massacre from the side of University of Hawaii as they take full advantage of better weaponry.
Yeah, that one was about as expected, gotta say. Also, I was talking about RIT earlier, their Division I roster playing in NACE. Shout out RIT. As of right now, they're currently winning 12-8 in Map 3 against the University of Kentucky in the quarterfinals to try and make it to their LAN in a couple weeks. So, you know, good job the other RIT roster, MJB, K2, Proto, Uni, and Benji on that one. They've looked good here and otherwise, so while we have this timeout, you know, I'm happy they're looking good elsewhere as well. Hawaii, they are showing that last week may just have been a fluke. Now, I have been talking to Hawaii. They have been scrimming a decent bit, so maybe they're spending a little bit more time in the server than Utah Valley. So that, we'll say, predication of last week could have favored them more than it did Utah Valley. Maybe more information is available to be taken advantage of by this Hawaii squad. Remember, last week they did play. It was 13-11 on Vertigo for UVU. Last time we saw them, it was 13-8 for Hawaii on Inferno. Last time we saw them. You guessed it, by the way. Those are our 2 maps here.
Well, Utah Valley investing everything that they possibly could have. A couple of defuse kits, rifles all across the board except 1 MP9 and 1 XM4. But the XM4s really have been quite lethal. Quite beneficial for whoever has decided to use them. Picklehead right in front of Mikey. It's just going to be a matter of response time for both of these people. The next M4 comes out on top. Sure, it gets traded out, but Chance on the other side of things was able to find another frag, making sure that Utah Valley are the ones that have the man advantage. as University of Hawaii look to enter the A side. Sure, there's not anyone with immediate resistance, but Chanze is now up close and personal against Leveren,
Wow.
but Leveren actually wins that one out surprisingly, but that's going to allow University of Hawaii to actually plant the bomb in peace.
They will, alongside a great smoke as well. It's not a one-way, those technically don't exist anymore, even I've seen multiple. But it creates enough space, not only vertically, but down below. That's the smoke I was talking about. You can't see a dang thing through this. There's no way. Even if you go up above, Ghost is still staring straight at Gray, and the 3v3 retake now very much on. Important note, Bullseye's playing a game of hide-and-go-seek on the other side of the rails. I don't know if this is clear. It seems like it is. Somehow, a fight still won by Bullseye. That should be good enough. He tries to jump up and will just in time. Misses the first 3 jumps, and as soon as he lands the 4th, he gets swung. Sandlex will fall. Hawaii find 11. Utah, they may need another timeout.
A jump shot, headshot to conclude things out while Bullseye was down to 7 HP. What is it with Hawaii players down on single-digit HPs and being the ones that close things out still? It's just happened like 4 times at this point where they had less than 20 HP and they finished things off just regardless. Like it didn't exactly matter. Nonetheless, though, Utah Valley once again down to pistols. They're probably gonna end up losing this round, which is gonna put University of Hawaii on map point. While this is Utah's map pick, it's not looking good so far for them.
No, it could look much better, to say the very least, and Utah really scrambling for this one. Xanlex has picked up the AK that was retrieved from Jack, but the problem really proceeds when you, A, don't have a kit, B, don't have armor, and C, don't have sight control, so you just give up a bomb plant. Jack on the flank hold will find, or sorry, Liverin, with the support of Jack earlier on in the round, will find that flank hold kill. And this seems to be the round. It's just a game of trying to find exits if you're looking at this from the perspective of UVU. Maybe you go back in and try and do some damage. This is not a round they are slated to pick up, and you can see exactly why. Elite Neat, the only way you win that is if you hide in a corner and then try a ninja defuse. They did neither, and they will lose the round off the back of it.
Well, we've talked about how good both of these teams have in an EGF so far. Only 1 map loss each, and that due to against each other, which was, I believe, last week. So again, as decisive as the series is, this map, it's not as close. Utah Valley, you expect them to have done a little bit better on their own map pick, but University of Hawaii have made pick work. Sure, most of the rounds have actually been really close, but just the consistency of clutching things out and coming out on top. University of Hawaii have to give props to them. They've been doing this far too long and far too well.
On UVU, this is much better start. Again, you're seeing the opening kill go the way. Miss nade, I believe. Not one that does lethal damage by any means, but still some progress looking to be found. Liverin flashed off the angle. Staring contest with the sun is never one you want to have. They'll be flashed again. This one misses a little bit more. But in the meantime, their aggression in through mid. Never mind. Bullseye's dead.
Yeah. Well, Utah Valley, a couple of players are tagged in quite a lot, as they still try to hold on and keep the rest of the 3 players of University of Hawaii at bay. While they invest every single piece of utility that they possibly could have before heading into the site finally, and well, they're already denied, couldn't even get a step in. But eventually they're going to go behind that kill onto the elite nade. There's just too much resistance onto the side, but it's not going to matter. They've found a couple of frags, make that 3, but okay. Close, but not it. Utah Valley stay alive in this map.
They stay alive. The problem is they now need 6 straight rounds on the CT side of Vertigo, of which on paper is not the favored side. Yes, I know Hawaii started off well, and they started off with the lead after the first half. 8-4, by the way, if you missed it. However, it's just not the same as most other maps because of how quickly the C side can get to either side and how much easier the rotations are. Yeah, CT side has shorter rotations on paper, but the C side has shorter rotations compared to their rotations on the maps. That's the reasoning. Overall, at least. That, alongside how some sound work, how a lot of the smokes work nowadays. CT side is just ruined. There's a lot of changes, to say the very least, and one of those changes seems to be a boost up and over, if I'm trying to find the correct player. Here they are. Ghost trying one with the M4. I don't know if this is going to be seen. It hasn't already, hasn't been looked for. There's a jump over. Livered will fall. Great opening shot. Piece of bit of damage done back the other way. Ghost will take damage and will immediately back up. The nade, however, used decent damage. Again, no kill though.
None yet so far.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
how even? Wasn't he? Is that a jump shot? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, a kill nonetheless. And they'll take it. The bomb down as well. 2 players for Utah Valley fallen. This might just be the conclusive round of map number 1 for the series.
Shots is on
no.
the longest flank in the world. The problem is it's going to take forever. They don't have this time. Yes, they have 2 kits, but that solidification of the site control is really what they're looking for. Shot up and over. Nobody watching the flank. Shans could step up, and they do. They only find 1, though, and that's the main problem. Fnipe in a 1 versus 1. They understand the time is of the essence, and they should be perfectly fine. A tap in the bomb. There's just no time remaining. Fnipe even wins the fight to add insult to injury. Hawaii, they make sure it is nowhere close to what it was last week. 13-6 on Vertigo, and more importantly, a win on Vertigo this time compared to last.
Yeah, Fnipe really went massive in that round. Shans, sure, it was quite a long flank. They didn't exactly have time for it, but Utah Valley, they actually made time for it. They got a couple of frags, which pushed both of the remaining players of the University of Hawaii back over towards ramps. It allowed Shans to time that flank absolutely perfectly, but just the clutch factor. University of Hawaii came in, and there was just nothing Utah Valley really could have done except maybe find those frags. But well, those duels really didn't exactly go their way, and hence Utah Valley lose their own map pick, down 1-0, and it's University of Hawaii that for the time being, for the buffer zone that we are in between the map number 1 and map number 2, they're the ones sitting at the first spot.
Yeah, they've got that momentum to build. They have their opponent's map selection. They won the map that they lost last week, and now they can win the map that they picked and won last week. Inferno is on the cards for the English is hard. For the University of Hawaii, Inferno is on the cards. They won it last week 13-8. Can they do so again? Can they do better? Or will they be ousted, just as we saw UVU do on Vertigo the previous week just the same? We'll find out when we return from the break with our final map of the week. Map 1 not only improves from last week for Hawaii, but a win in fairly dominant fashion compared to what we saw last week. Last time we saw Vertigo, it was the victory for UVU. Not the case this time around here, Inflict.
Yeah, not the case this time around. University of Hawaii put themselves on board with a rather comfortable win as well, a 13-4 scoreline. Sure, it's improvement from last week, but it's a win as well. Last time around, they lost the first map, but now that we're heading into their own map pick, this is University of Hawaii's map pick being Inferno. Last time around, we saw them play this against Utah Valley. They won that game 13-8. So if University of Hawaii are going to remain consistent and show improvements on that map as well, well, they're definitely going to win this, but also have an even cleaner scoreline. We're going to have to wait and see how that goes. As Utah Valley, it seems like they're just going to kill themselves really quickly. Or this knife round.
It was the knife round.
Yeah. Okay. So they're just going to conclude that and move on to the sides. But I believe it's actually Utah Valley that are going to be on the CT side. So a slightly favorable position to start off, which might be beneficial considering University of Hawaii. They got to be feeling good about themselves after that map win.
Yeah, and you're also looking at this from Utah Valley side and saying there are things you can clearly improve upon. Number 1, opening gunfights. They did have fairly decent starts on occasion, but it wasn't enough, nor were there enough consistent follow-ups that they needed. When they didn't start off well, they just couldn't finish off well. I'm looking at this from the perspective of Utah and saying you can certainly win this, but it has to start on your CT side. And yes, I will say it again, Inferno was CT-sided. It is no longer, at least not as much, because of the way some of the game mechanics have changed. For instance, nades, smokes, the combination of those two. T-side has some semblance more of an advantage. So you'll see more and more often in maps like this, Ancient or Anubis, more 6-6s or 7-5s compared to what used to be the norm, not only with MR15, but like 9-6s or 10-5s.
Yeah, and the CT economy being a little bit in the garbage as well. It certainly has an effect, you
Please
know.
fix Valve. Make the new standard 1900. I do not know why 1400 is a lost bonus. Don't understand it, but that's just me. Thank you for coming to my TED.
Yeah, a good one nonetheless, and a wise one as well. You know, I agree because now that we are with working with MR12, having a side where it takes 2 rounds to recover financially to be able to fully buy back, that's just too high of a loss. You know, you don't have as much time to recover. You're gonna be forcing into this one and hoping something miraculous goes your way for you to recover financially after that, or you just have to risk losing 2 rounds just because you have weaker weaponry, forcing fully buying into the next one. And if you lose that, then that's pretty much your half gone right there.
It seems like this half may be already gone tight. It turns into a 2v2. Fnatic finds 2 back, somehow picking both of them up. I don't know if they're aware that Mikey's currently sitting in spawn. He walks in, he somehow doesn't find the second player. I thought Sean's was a dead man sitting there, but it turns out he does find that refrag. The issue is, Fnatic not only has dualies, which are worse than they used to be in Global Offensive in all fairness, but he also has armor and the bomb planted. This is going to be a very long rotation for Sean's. It's going to take a decent bit of time. He's got the time for it, but he does not have a kit, and already about 10 seconds gone off that defuse timer.
Yeah, and Trans has an armor as well, so if these are body shots, which dualies usually rely on as well, Trans is going to be in a slightly favorable position. And now that he's fighting at range here, he just needs to head ahead. And ooh, he's running out of time. Finds the kit, running straight back in, but he needs to take this fight immediately. Now there's just not enough time. He needs to go, and well, there's not enough time for him to defuse regardless. As Fnatic is just going to play around the pillar. And University of Hawaii strike first in what seems like in another round, which seemed like Utah Valley had a good start in.
You know, if he takes that same 7, 8, 9 seconds that it took him to find the diffuser, and then walk back, if not more than that, and he just uses it to win that first fight, he still had 20 seconds left in the diffuse timer. As long as the fight takes less than 10 seconds and he wins it, he wins the round. But over-dedicating yourself towards a piece of, well, I suppose utility, but not technically utility you can buy, it comes back to bite you. I don't know, questionable decision for me. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're like, oh, there's a kit banana, and then it ends up being further than you thought, or you couldn't find it immediately. It's unfortunate, but it is, unfortunately, the luck of the draw is to where your teammates die and where their remaining parts of their body fall. Feels bad.
It's bad indeed, but Utah Valley, they're probably gonna feel even worse now that they're only working with pistols yet again, of course, courtesy of the CT economy being so bad that Utah Valley, they were able to find 4 frags, but still not gonna be able to buy anything whatsoever. 3 of their players already fallen to the SMGs of University of Hawaii. Only 1 remains, and Zanlex is gonna go down as well. Clean round. University of Hawaii off to a good start on their own map pick. If they can keep this going, we might be on for a quick ride here.
Bonus round, now on the cards. And Ghost has an XM 1014. I am concerned. I'm not gonna lie to you here. Inflict. I don't know how I feel about an XM on Inferno. Last time we saw Inferno, well, correction, last time I saw Inferno was Marquette playing it, albeit 2-3 weeks ago, but it was Marquette. It was them bringing the XM more often than they were bringing the regular rifles. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the greatest experience casting. It was just, oh yeah, who can use the XM? XM down to Nana, does a decent bit of damage, almost 60 on towards Mikey. Now, Liverin took about 75 damage from nades earlier on, but all in all, everybody's still alive for the time being.
Yeah, they've traded a few shots, but eventually the first kill is going to go down. It's going to be Jack that falls. Bullseye and Fnatic follow them. And oh, finally, Utah Valley coming out alive, swinging onto 4 players. And Liverin is now the last one alive. They know exactly where he is. And Challenge with the USP has been able to find a couple of frags, going to retrieve that M4. And who's a couple of weapon upgrades. Not exactly weapon upgrades, but still. The fact that they were able to keep all 5 of their players alive, it's going to give a very much needed economy boost to Utah Valley in case they end up losing a round in the next couple ones. But University of Hawaii, they won the first few rounds, gonna be able to fully buy back into this one. The bonus round didn't exactly pan out the way that they wanted. They were probably hoping to get at least a couple of frags going in their favor, but Utah Valley kept themselves composed, played that patiently behind that end. They sure showed some aggression behind that XM4, but still didn't over aggress or give away much information, and hence played that round to absolute perfection.
Use a bit of utility volley, released back and forth towards Boiler and towards the T steps. Not a whole lot happening off the back of it though. Good volley will force Sean's out. I don't know if they survive Jack at the top of mid. Never mind. They actually win the fight against Jack at the top of mid. And the spray down apartments, there's more information gained. Well, yes, there's not an opening kill picked up. You have to remember, you also don't lose all that much of your Hawaii. You still have almost all of your people. You've still taken almost all of the brackets as well. And you haven't had to relinquish all that much in comparison to what you otherwise would have had you lost that player for the round. All in all, could have been worse to start.
Could have, indeed. But University of Hawaii now forced to back off there behind the smokes and Molotovs. They haven't been allowed any real estate whatsoever towards the A side, so now they're gonna try their luck over towards the B side, test things out, and now and they don't have a lot of utility as well. They're gonna have to commit to this. 3 smokes, 1 Molotov, 3 flashes as well. If they decide to invest even 4 nades into this one, they're gonna have to fully commit to this one. They cannot back off, and the XM4 to greet them initially is going to actually get taken out of the equation. The elite needs still close by. They are unaware of his positioning, which could prove to be extremely deadly for him. But still, as the smoke fades away, another one is going to pop right back up, hence forcing the elite need to push out onto the site.
This is just a problem. They don't have any space on the Utah Valley side. They want to play for as much as they can. They just don't have the information. Sean's pushed straight to the smoke, though. Finds at least one. Makes this more than reasonable, but swing through. Nobody else finding what they're looking for. Elite Neat tried the same thing, but only one person will be a successful smoke criminal. That's only for 1 kill. Sean's actually found the opening kill around as well. Onto Hawaii, but it's not going to be one that ends up going their way. Hawaii find their 3rd, and a fairly concise one to say the very least. Good start to things to say the very least. And more importantly, they didn't make a mistake on the entry. They shut down the XM, they didn't allow the refrag from coffins, good utility usage, good site take, good hold post-plant.
Yeah, well, the crossfire was really great to conclude things out right there from the side of University of Hawaii, but once again, Utah Valley having won their only round win with a flawless victory, it's allowed them to fully buy into this one as well. Sure, there's one XM and an MP9 in the hands of Utah Valley, but the rest of the M4s could prove to be lethal. Well, University of Hawaii once again taking their time with this one. They aren't playing it too aggressively. They have one player already deep into apps, but they haven't made any contact either.
They haven't done a whole lot of anything anywhere. That's the most important part. They're trying to re-swing brackets. Oh my goodness, as soon as I say they don't do anything, they basically clear the entirety of this ace site. One player left, it's Picklehead, and they're dead. Yeah, never mind. This round's basically over. I honestly would not hate Utah Valley just backing away here. They don't have the time to go for this. Technically they do, everybody's here. But they have 1 kit, 1 flash, and an XM and an MP9. Make it an XM and an M4 up against 5 AKs. This should be the disengage, and oh, somebody's gonna become a smoke criminal. There's one, wait for a second. Oh, he'll find it. Bullseye was still strafing, and somehow wins the fight. That's what happens to me in ranked games. I don't... The Counter-Strike moment.
What's your face at level at right now?
No comment.
Okay. Well, mine's at 1, so there's no shame. Okay, I'm
More than
I'm
that.
still okay.
I think I'm like face
Well,
at 4 or something. So not bad, but I also don't play face it.
That's understandable. 4 is pretty good. I'm not even half of that, but University of Hawaii though, well they have 4 rounds as well. I just realized Utah Valley 1 round win, my face at level is 1. University of Hawaii 4 rounds win, and your face at level is 1. No relation whatsoever, but just a random fun fact that I thought of for no absolute reason. But Mike, good start, and same is the case for the rest of the University of Hawaii's 4 players have already fallen, leaving only 1 behind, and the same numbers continue to just go around in this round so far. Well,
Oh, he loses
Okay.
the AK. 1v5 on the board here for Zanlex. They do not have a kit. They have no
One-
utility. correction, they have a flashbang, and they now have an AK. I'm not going to say a reasonable clutch. They are being swarmed from two separate directions. And Jack goes forward. They're seeing Porch. Oh my goodness, Sandlex finds a second. He does not have the time to get over towards the B side and defuse and still coup two players. But it's still reasonable for him to do some more academic damage, especially with the 2 kills he's already picked up. This now becomes a little bit more concerning for Hawaii because, well, yes, they do have... It's not like they're made of it. He finds a third. Looking for a fourth? No, he'll be shot. Imagine he finds a 4K. It was a team ace, though, from Hawaii. You can see the skulls on the right side. Everybody gets 1 kill. So that's the end goal for Hawaii. They were just softening them up for Fnatic to find a team ace.
Yeah. Had Fnatic died, it actually could have been pretty bad. A 1v1 between Liverin. But regardless, they got that round win, and University of Hawaii are now starting to look comfortable as well. You know, these rounds, they're not even as close as the rounds we saw on Vertigo. But these have either just been almost flawless, or well, that one round was due to Valley's win. But other than that, it's been really clean for the most part. Knife going to be the one that kicks things off right here, but an immediate equalizer from the side of Utah Valley coming in. University of Hawaii continue to play things slow, continue to just look for information that they can work with, and Jack isolates with an isolated fight over towards Apps is going to open things up for them to work with over towards the A side.
Pop out, just go, it'll miss. Luckily the op will stay on the board though. He's getting smoked off. Problem. Shot through, he's not safe here. It's much more likely for them to hit spray shots than he to hit any shots with Gamble individually. And oh, Fnipe even wins one on for Neat. Will he find a second? Oh my goodness, he will. Back to back for Fnipe on shots I thought he was going to miss on both occasions, or at least he was going to get dipped on both occasions. UVU having some problems again in the earlier stages. This time it's on their CT side.
Yeah, we said that the CT side on Inferno isn't as great anymore, but we didn't mean it was bad either.
True.
It's still it's still a place where you should be able to have a couple of round lead by the time the first half comes to an end. But right now, University of Hawaii, they're actually putting up a dominant performance while on the D side, and if this keeps on going, this game might just be over a lot more quicker than we even anticipated. But Utah Valley, they're playing quite a lot aggressively here and end up losing 3 players, leaving only 2 behind, and well, now only 1 Picklehead. He's isolated all by himself, left alone on an island, up against 3, and the bomb's nowhere even close to him.
No, this is not looking all that likely. Bomb's going to be planted. This will be in a 7th on the board. We'll see back-to-back games where Hawaii just look clean as heck out the gate. And Utah is just not having their day of things. They're having problems solidifying earlier in the round. They can't find mid-round pressure, and when they don't have the full rifles they need, they just can't win straight-up gunfights. 12-2 with Snipe, by the way. 6-2 for Liverin. 6-5 for Jack. 7-4 for Bullseye. 3-5 for Mikey. Mikey is negative, and they're still winning by 6.
Yeah. I mean, when the rest of your team is performing, you can't really complain. Nonetheless, though, as you said, University of Hawaii rather comfortable going so far on their own map pick. Utah Valley, they need to change things up quickly, because if they don't start winning right now, right in this round, University of Hawaii's lead is going to grow to a massive number, considering the fact that Utah Valley won't have a bye after this one, almost until the conclusion of the until the conclusive round of the first half as well. We might as well be looking at a double-digit first half for University of Hawaii.
Liverin finding 2 there, which is patiently waiting in the corner. You can see all the damage done in this round is almost exclusively by utility, and the B site has virtually fallen already. Again, it's a scenario where Utah Valley have a significant man disadvantage, very little utility to work off of because of their man disadvantage, and they have to save in the first, 50 seconds of the round? Bomb planted, round virtually over, and a foregone conclusion. However, Picklehead does at least win 1 fight, so there's a caveat, just not all that much of one.
Yeah, it seems like they're gonna probably set up to possibly find some exit frags, but I'm not entirely sure if that's even going to matter. They can't exactly have weapon upgrades to the arsenal that they're currently holding on to, and the economy damage that they're hoping to do onto University of Hawaii, I'm not entirely sure if it's worth it, because considering the amount of rounds that are left in this half, University of Hawaii are going to be rather comfortable buying fully back into the
Oh,
next one, but still a valiant effort nonetheless, as they've eliminated 3 players, leaving only uh Laverne around, but is too far to be dealt with. So University of Hawaii, sure, they win 8 rounds, they lose 4 players, but all of them pretty much have bank have a lot of money in the bank, so they're going to be comfortably buying fully back into this one as well. And Utah Valley, that exit frag strategy is sort of a long run thing, but with only 3 rounds left to go, it's only going to be beneficial for them in maybe 1 round, if they win the next 2.
I mean, you're looking at a situation where you probably lose weapons versus you probably lose and keep these 3 weapons. At a bare minimum, they still have rifles, and they have rifles for everybody rather than rifles for just 3 or 4 people. It's a risk, but a risk you kind of have to take sometimes. Another risk is Sean's being basically alone at the top of brackets here. They have some support from the other side towards arches, but if either of these 2 players swing him, he's virtually dead. I say that as he finds 1 kill, he won't find a second though. 1 for 1 is more than okay for Hawaii, and they'll take that in stride as well. Only 1 player on this side now, it's Picklehead. 1 versus 2 virtually. He swings and will find Ghost, but again, it still trades there, this time over towards the B side.
Yeah. Utah Valley finally, after quite a while, have a man advantage, as we've toned things down for a little bit, and Fanipe is going to get sniped out. Quite ironic there. But now leaving only Bullseye behind, and he may have found gaps. Oh no! Well, first frag found. He knows exactly where the elite need is as well. That's the second, and sure, he surely has enough time to plant the bomb as well, and he's aware of it. So Picklehead now in a 1 versus 1. He sure has a lot of utility to possibly pull Bullseye out of his little corner, but a long range fight might not be his. Oh, he still thinks he's there. Oh, no!
Game of Ring around the Rosie, and Bullseye is winning every single second of it. Picklehead may still think he's in the back corner, and he's never going to clear this. No reason for him to do so. Bullseye has played the most Houdini trick I have ever seen. To get out of dodge, get back into dodge, and get out of dodge once more. 9-1 Hawaii off of Bullseye, just taking advantage of a lack of line of sight. The nade was good, the Molotov was good, the setup was overall fairly well there for Picklehead, but unfortunately he just didn't have the information, and Bullseye played him like a fiddle.
The awareness of Bullseye to play around those timings was absolutely gorgeous in that 1 versus 3. He found the perfect timing to sneak past the elite need to head over towards that CT spawn a little bit and find that first frag. He understood the fact that elite need has to go for an immediate trade, otherwise that death has gone in vain. So he capitalized on that as well. And as you mentioned, playing around that pillar, playing that timing perfectly.
You see,
Just oh. No? Okay, he did see it, but the timing exactly didn't really work out. He wasn't prepared for it. The XM now coming into clutch as they found the first rank, immediately traded down, but the man advantage still available for UVU.
And needs to get out of here, and should do so fairly safely. The other problem starting to develop is you don't have that immediate support you're looking for. A resmoke of CT should be good. They don't have a coffin smoke though. They've thrown 2 for CT without 1 for coffin, and that's where Elite steps up. Another one there for Zanlex, and it's a 1 versus 4 here for Fnipe. A nearly ace clutch is required, they won't even find 1. Zanlex will find 2 in the round. The op steps up as it's needed, and also disengages as is correctly timed. They waited for support, they didn't over-aggress or get overzealous. They had the support, and then they stepped back up. Very good round overall.
Yeah. But University of Hawaii, they're in too comfortable of a spot right here to even feel like the UVU are causing a threat, are a threat right now, because, well, University of Hawaii again fully able to buy back into this one, and this is the final round of the first half. Moving on, they're going to be onto the CT side as well, which again, not as great as it used to be in global offensive, but still a pretty good. You'd often want to play Inferno on the CT side, so with only possibly needing 3 or 4 rounds at max, it's looking really good for Hawaii the way they've set things up for themselves.
Great nade lands on the
Ouch.
Jack. Jack's nade was fairly decent, but unfortunately, UVU had already vacated the premises in the master bedroom. So things become more of a problem. I say that as a shot is landed, blind up banana, and another one through this mid position. Slipping of the gap, once more coming through. Picklehead gets aggressive over towards the balcony side. He's just watching his back at this point. He knows he's safe on the front side. Do they clear balcony? They have no reason to do so. One found, but only one. That now becomes a problem. They have to re-clear this site, and they will. 1 for 1 once more, and Fnipe in a 1 versus 1, and he'll only hit 1 shot. I said 1 a lot of times. UVU find more than 1 round in the first half.
Well, you. Now, 3 rounds secured, only a 6-round deficit, and well, only might not actually be a great word for it, considering Hawaii are on the CD side, so it's going to be a little bit extra difficult for UVU to make a comeback happen right here. But if they want to make it realistic, they're going to have to start it with the pistol round win right here. If University of Hawaii are able to take it, and they can deny the bomb plant to UVU as well, it's likely going to be 11 rounds secured for University of Hawaii right there. So UVU, and they're going to need a good early start right here, break the momentum of University of Hawaii. Otherwise, they're pretty much in the dirt.
Opening shots missed. It seems like the A rush is in. Mostly up second mid compared to what we usually see around the banana side. Speaking of banana, already a player lost for Hawaii, and things looking much better for UVU, but a third player rotating over towards A. The fourth can be here a little bit later, but this is mostly already here. I say that as Elite Neat wins yet another gunfight for UVU, and things are starting to become a little bit more difficult. Livren, looking to be cleared out of position, wins their first fight with the help of Jack, as a matter of fact, but needs to find a second. If they're going to go down at all, they need to be able to pick up a second kill in the process. It's just not going to happen. Jack will fall just the same. Round basically over. Bullseye has a flashbang and no kit in a 1v4.
Yeah. Bullseye has given us a gorgeous 1 versus 3 already, but will he? Oh, never mind. It's not even a question anymore as he falls to Shanzai. And UVU secured their 4th. This is exactly what they needed. And now they need to just work off of it, build themselves some momentum, secure 3 or 4 rounds at the very least before even conceding a single one, and allowing University of Hawaii to go on to double digits. But it seems like University of Hawaii might be forcing here. I can see a shotgun in the hands of Jack.
I'm against shotgun round 2s. I'm against shotguns, period. The only shotgun I think, or the only 2 shotguns that I think should be available to play in competitive or premier or, my ranked games should be the Nova and the Sawed Off. That's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I think the Mag 7's okay, but I still don't like it, mainly because I die to it more than I find kills with it. So, if I was on the balancing team, I'd be significantly more, we'll say, biased than I should be.
I'm pretty sure the balancing team doesn't play the game as much, so.
Yeah, I can tell.
That's what.
I mean,
Yeah.
what? No.
No, I'm saying it because then they won't have a bias about what they want to improve and what they don't. In order to balance things out, you have to have an unbiased opinion of the weaponry and utility in the game and mechanics as well.
So what I'm hearing here is that one member of the balancing team definitely played during Global Offensive and died to an op every single round, because the op sucks now. That has to be the case, right? Also, swing into a Strawless stack, probably not the most ideal thing if you want to survive. Jack actually wins the first fight and will reposition forward. He's getting a little aggressive with this Mag 7. I don't hate this. And Ghost is low HP. Ghost will not survive this if he gets out in the open. Swing from long range. Yeah, shotgun will win that one. Looking for another. He'll find that as well. This is why I hate the shotgun, but this is why it's so damn good. Looking for another. He won't find it, but it's a 1 versus 3. With a Mag 10, though, it seems more than reasonable. Bullseye's a Mag 10 of his own, and he still loses it. It's a multi-frag across the board, but it's Shanza with an ace. And UVU just narrowly clutching out their 5th round off the back of 5 kills from their team captain.
How is that allowed to happen? Those 3 kills from Jack to kick things off, then Shans with a USP nonetheless to get that 4K. Oh my goodness. This game has certainly taken an interesting turn nonetheless. And I'm not, if the shotgun's gonna get kills like that, I'm not complaining. At least it's entertaining to watch. I'll have that over just a broken gun that's not even entertaining like the XM. It just takes too long to deal with that. Jack. Well, he's gonna answer right back with a kill of USP onto Shan, so he's gonna be the one that equalizes things out. And Levern
What?
now
What?
another.
Livren lost that.
Ow.
I
That
I can't
that's
believe it.
illegal.
I can't believe Livren loses that. M4, honestly, the M4 is so difficult to spray because there's no tracers, and the CS2 sprays are a little different than they used to be. You don't really know what you're shooting at, so there's no definitive way to track what you're shooting at with the M4A1S. But it's not the end of the world. Should still be around. I was gonna say in favor of this Hawaii side, but maybe not so much. Fnipe does drop down Pickle, though. That should be it. Attempted plant here from Zanlex with the swing through. They'll get the plant, but they won't get the round. Utah Valley, they are dispatched of, and Hawaii will hit double digits.
Yeah, it took them a while to get there, but they got there nonetheless, and they still have double the amount of rounds that you have, so it's still a rather comfortable cushion for them to be sitting on. Uh, and the fact that they've kept all of these rounds so close so far, it's gonna allow them to have a rather comfortable round for their potential 11th as well. Because UVU, they just don't have they're not gonna have a bite in this one. They might force, but it's not gonna be some proper arsenal. You can see Zanlex, he bought a lot of utility, but immediately sells it. They recognize the fact that they're gonna have to save in this one. University of Hawaii having kept the numbers close in pretty much every single one of the round that they've played in the second half. It's deemed beneficial for them in the long run.
What? Jack just got knifed. Had an XM in hand and got knifed. I cannot believe that the XM loses that from point blank and he gets knifed. Somehow, Shanza then picks up the XM and will follow up with a second on delivered. A reminder, you said it, this was an eco. With a spray down will shut down one. That should be the return to form we were looking for. Mikey, however, doubled up. Pickle in a 1 versus 2. Can't even find a kill. Bullseye will shut him down. A full house of frags. Mikey with 3. Bullseye with 2. And Hawaii with their 11th on the board. UVU made it close. And Shanza honestly looked really good doing it. 2 kills with the XM. It's $1,800 plus the $1,500 for the knife. But it's not the round itself. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with today or what's so right with
Lots
today
of
that
things.
we've seen that we've seen so much ridiculous and interesting things so far, such as the interview of the last game, the knives and the R8, this Jack pulling out the Mag 7 as well for the 3K and just to get countered by a USP getting a 4K. But I'm all up for it. It's been an entertaining day of CS nonetheless, and with the final map of the week, it's nothing less than that as well. Absolutely gorgeous gameplay from both of these teams. Well, UIU not as much, of course, but they've kept things entertaining at the very least, especially Shan's. That USB 4K, the knife kill to pick up the XM as well. And Chance is the one that gets the first blood in this round as well. He's the man leading the charge from the front for UYU. The equalizer provided, and the bomb not down just yet. They realize off the threat that Levin poses, but with the smokes out, now they can finally hop on the bomb.
That may very well be the round. I don't know if Hawaii can really muster the courage to go for this one. I wouldn't hate it. Liberin plays anti-flash and runs in, but Shanza again steps up for a kill. We'll find 2 in this one. Goes up to 23 and 10. For all of you non-mathematicians, it's really easy math. 2.3 KD for Shanza, and I gotta say, a big return to form for UVU in this map. But the problem is, it's still only 6 rounds. They still have at least 5 to tie. It would be 7 to win if they wanted to do so in regulation. And they don't have the money to stick around and die here. I don't know if Bullseye will be able to survive the end of this. No, they won't be cleared, so they'll be fine. But UVU, again, a win that they deserved and earned from the start.
Yeah. Well, a small good news for them is the fact that University of Hawaii are not gonna have a proper buy in this round either. They have one M4, one AWP, an SMG, and only a couple of pistols to work with. Bullseye might actually purchase another SMG or maybe a FAMAS, but other than that, they're gonna lack a little bit of utility. As soon as the first wave of utility goes out, University of Hawaii are gonna be in sort of a problematic situation. So UIU, they just need to play this round rather passively and work off of that. They have a proper bio heading into this one. They lost a couple of players, but they were still able to get everything that they possibly could have wanted. Some things got dropped, some utility got handed over. So overall, a rather beneficial, a rather advantageous round by default for UIU right here. They just have to make sure they utilize it properly.
Oh, just barely misses a shot onto Pickle. Well, at least misses the lethal shot onto Pickle. Smoke ends up landing flower pots. That's creative. Somebody write that one down. Ends up eliminating not only the vertical angle, but the angle from down below. Shout out volumetric smokes. But it's still no kills on either side. The issue is, because University of Hawaii has done early damage in these rounds, the Deagles, or the MP9 that is set up on Liverin, can step up for a little more than they would otherwise should they find low HP opponents. Smokes, Molotov, seemingly the kitchen sink thrown at Hawaii, but no kills found thus far, and a good readjustment from Liverin. They'll recover an AK as well, staying alive in the corner. They'll find a second, looking for a third. They'll finally be shut down, but it is still a more than reasonable round here for Hawaii. Retaking fairly quickly, but Bullseye gets clotheslined by the AK of Shanza, and this round now far from over, and the op now retrieved. It's an op battle, but he's taking on Fnipe. He who has it in his name needs to now have it in the game, or Shanza will almost have another ace. It's not going to happen. Zenlix will not only take his ace away, but will put a 7th on the board for UVU.
Props to Levin for keeping things so close all by himself, and that perfect play to pick up that AK, hold that angle, get that third, and he had the reinforcements arrive just 2 or 3 seconds sooner, he would have had just enough help to close things out right there and put University of Hawaii on mat and series point. But UIU still keeping University of Hawaii away from that, and now that University of Hawaii's economy has been completely broken down as well, they have a real shot of making a comeback happen yet again. We talked about how the CT economy is absolutely terrible right now, and so they're gonna have they're likely looking at a 9-11 scoreline right here, unless an eco round could come through. Mikey, he has enough shots,
Oh,
but
no.
misses every single one of them.
Oh no. Knife out.
Please don't.
He could find one. He's looking for it. He's gonna find the knife, but he's gonna miss that first one. He'll end up readjusting for the second, and he wins the fight. No way he finds a second kill there. I cannot believe that Picklehead misses an entire magazine and still loses the gunfight. I mean, there's money at least for Hawaii, and Bullseye goes up to $3,500. But the bait and switch setup was there from the start. You had the Deagle swinging, oh yeah, I'm in the open. I'm the one playing sandbags. My teammate is totally not sitting in the corner there. However, the round's basically over anyway. It's just a matter of whether there's divine intervention, which I don't think is going to come through, unfortunately.
Yeah, had there been a defuse kit, maybe it would have, but that's just not the case, as Liren goes down as well. Jack is this lone warrior now, remaining with just a Eagle. He's maybe going to try and retrieve an AK and work off of that, or find some exit frags to try and deal some damage to the economy, but other than that, this round is pretty much done and dusted. An AK retrieved, nonetheless, and yeah, he should. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
But so, UIU, they've made this comeback realistic now, 8-11.
Becomes a little bit more reasonable for them to step up. A brief reminder, 13-8 was the scoreline this time last week on the exact same map. Hawaii won it. They should do so again here because it is their map pick. They did better on Vertigo than they did last time. Not only better, but they won it. However, Shanza is stepping up in direct comparison to what we saw back on Vertigo. Nobody really was there for UVU. Here, not the case. I've counted at least three 3Ks, a 4K, and an ace. And we still have at least 2 rounds to go, if not more than that, should UVU pick a couple of these rounds up.
John's just completely disrespecting the smoke, goes out wide. Eventually, though, forced to back off. He realized he's in a lot of trouble. Liverin, regardless, going to be the one that finds the first blood. And now, after quite a... Wow, the guts to just peek that right back. Chance, he's definitely feeling himself. I mean, he's quite literally spearheading the comeback of UYU. 29 frags, only 11 deaths so far. Every single round that he's died, UYU have lost. But this time around, they're gonna have to do it without him. 2 players all remaining up against 3 of University of Hawaii. Fnatic finds another, and this round is pretty much done as
Okay.
University of Hawaii. Oh no, never mind. Scratch that.
Op is gone. Pickle in a 1 versus 2. Missed an entire magazine last round. This time, there's your redemption story. He misses a couple more shots, though, and his position is really noted. He's on 8 HP. He's one shot to both of them. He did have the AK, so the headshots could have come through, but it was not the round. Shanza just died too early. Got a little overzealous. He did catch Liverin out with utility, so his overzealous peak early ended up working. But the second attempt, Jack was ready for it. Jack won it, and Hawaii ended up winning the round. Jack actually won probably the fight to open up the round being likely for them, and the closing ended itself.
Yeah. They, at this point, with their backs completely against the wall, UVU, they just need somebody else to step up alongside Chance. Chance cannot do everything all by himself. Sure, he has done it so far, but you can't just rely on one player to push you through. As soon as Chance falls, if the University of Hawaii start to target Chance specifically, there's just absolutely nothing you can do. And University of Hawaii, they only need one more round at this point. Chance, an impressive stat line: 29 kills, 11 deaths. There's nobody else that even has 20 kills achieved in this game so far, and Chance is just one away from getting to 30. Likely, maybe he will do so, but University of Hawaii only need one more round at this point to close things out in the series and win at 2-0.
This could be that round. Nobody got in the opening kill just yet. However, the swing through on towards the safe side looks more than likely to go Hawaii's way. And there's Liverin already finding a first. Finds a headshot onto a second, but not the kill. And that's the most important part. And Jack ends up finding Shanza with assists from Pickle. The 3v3 now favors University of Hawaii for the sole reason that Shanza is dead. The remaining players have only a combined 27 kills in the 20 rounds we've played thus far, and more importantly, they're all fairly isolated from one another. You've one playing up above towards coffins, or sorry, up above towards graveyard, another sitting ninja, and the third up towards heaven, Zanlex with the op. But who gets cleared first? First kill into Elite Meat, there's the refrag, and back the other way. The op up, though, will be shut down shortly thereafter, and the kit's available. Hawaii has it, and they'll take the map in the exact same fashion they did last week. 13-8, the close and the victory.
Yeah, a valiant effort from the side of UVU to make that comeback seem possible, and especially from Chance as well. 30 kills achieved, nobody else again on even on 20 kills from either side. So he played absolutely lights out. But had he done so at the start of the map, maybe the scoreline would have been different, or had he had some support in the second half as well, things could have potentially looked different. But with the University of Hawaii winning this game 2-0, that's going to cement them as the #1 spot as we conclude this week out.
Yeah, and now I think it's mathematically impossible for them to be ousted from the #1 spot for the sole reason of tiebreakers, at least for this first semester. Again, I said this, I believe, yesterday in Overwatch. The league is a continuous stream. It just has like a halftime for Christmas break for, most schools. We restart in February. It's technically the start with week 8 or week 9. However, it's still the same season overall. It is adjusted for win percentages should teams join in the spring semester and not play in the first semester. It's adjusted for win percentages rather than wins overall, but it still is going to be that consistent factor of you still need these wins if you want to make nationals at the end of April or May. And we just don't see that from UVU here. Really big step up, I think, from University of Hawaii. Different compared to what we saw last week. I'll bring up last week's stats once more. We played Vertigo, we played Inferno. It was a win for UVU on Vertigo, 13-11, rather than a loss here, 13-6. And it was the exact same scoreline in Inferno on back-to-back weeks. I don't know the statistical probability is on that one, but I think the sum up is not very high.
Yeah, it isn't, but I think just the fact that the University of Hawaii were able to completely shift things around, having faced a rather comfortable, a rather dominant loss from the other, a dominant win from the other side, from the side of UVU, excuse me, last week, to just convert that into a dominant win this time around from their end. I think the progress that they've made within just a week speaks volumes about what the potential truly is for this roster. UVU, I mean, individually, we've seen their players go pop off in some particular rounds, especially on map #1. A lot of those rounds are very close. Map #2, Shan's, he popped off his resistance consistently to just letting those rounds go easily. was on peak, but he needs help. If UEU wants to be a contender for the top spot, as you said, in the second semester, they need somebody else to support Shans with that consistent performance.
Shans in map number 1, it was 19 rounds played. Shans went 18 and 13. In map number 2, we played 21 rounds. Shans went 30 and 12. The stats on that one, very, very up there for Shans. Overall, 48 and 25, if I'm doing my math correctly. Almost a 2.0 KD in a game that you lose by a total of, 7 plus 5 rounds, 12 rounds. You lose, have a negative 12 round differential, and have a nearly 2.0 KD. Statistical improbabilities are continuing here. Speaking of which, we're going to get an interview with Hawaii, segue of all time on that one. But we have a Hawaii interview when we come back from the break, and the close of our show just the same.
She's got no more infos. Yep, she's by drone hole, You got flashes?
This is it.
Yeah.
It's a death trap.
I'm holding this dust. I've got your stairs.
My game's a little bit laggy.
Not as short as they may have wanted, but certainly just as sweet for the University of Hawaii. We have Blaze joining us here for an interview. I gotta say, big fan, not only of the University of Hawaii, but of Blaze as well. I gotta say, a little difficult this week. Similar to last week, I unfortunately missed last week. Great maps that I still haven't watched back, but you guys improved this week, and that was important.
Yeah, last week, man, like I said, we're waiting for that one loss, and that really pushed us to get this win this week. Well, or me, I was more mad, if anything, than anyone else, but it was more like we were getting complacent playing, and we just needed to bunker down and just get some util in. If you did watch it back, you can realize that we learned a lot more util on Vertigo, and it made it a lot easier on both sides of the ball of CT and T. And then Inferno is just the same game plan as the first time. We got the util down, and we're ready to go. And hey, man, the boys pulled through this game. If you look at the scoreline, we're all even across the board, majority of us. And like I heard earlier, we're just a bunch of guys just trying to put it together, and it's gonna be week by week.
So I gotta ask that follow-up. You were talking about Vertigo. Were you predicting that Vertigo was going to be picked again, and you were ready for it this time around?
Yes. We practiced all week just to go for Vertigo, and I'm like, hey, if they don't want to play us on Anubis, they want to play us on Ancient, and then we don't want to play them on Nuke or whatever, and then they don't want to play us on Overpass. I'm like, hey, they're gonna play us on Ancient again, not Ancient, but Vertigo, and I'm like, okay, and then they're probably gonna let Inferno slide, and I'm like, it is what it is. We got our map pulled down, and then we just had to learn a little bit, and it was pretty good overall. So it was just a nice 2-0 this week, and it was a big improvement from last week for sure, especially with team play and coordination.
Nice.
Yeah, and it definitely showed as well. You know, especially the first map, you completely turned things around. But I want to talk a little bit about the second one. You started off really strong on that one, but the second half, you seem to like seem a tad bit shaky on that. Talk me through what exactly the thing was going wrong. What made that map so close, even though you were off to such a great start.
Yeah, you know, with the new MR12, I think you call it, it's just you lose on CT round pistol, you're gonna lose a couple rounds, and then if you lose a reset, you're gonna lose a couple more rounds, and that's just how the game goes. So a lot of this is like a lot of mental play itself, and it was just hard.
Counter-Strike, please change.
Right? Yeah.
Counter-Strike, please change. Change the
Like
CT economy, if anything.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's CTs just have it rough. Like we were saying, why you guys have such a good start on T side, right? If we start on T side and we win the pistol somehow miraculously, I think we calculated it. We have like a 20% chance or less of winning a pistol round. So it is what it is. It's pretty bad, but you can also bring up the statistics of our second round win percentage too, which is absurd.
You've
at this
only
point.
lost like 2 all season.
Yeah, I think it's both to Utah. Yeah, it's both to Utah.
You guys have lost a different pistol. I think it was to Marquette maybe, or RIT. or like a pistol, and then you lost a conversion after that. I don't know. You guys are statistically insane. I like bringing this up with Slayer Inflict. With professional play, I don't know if it applies as much over towards collegiate play, but in professional play, if a team wins both pistol rounds and both conversion rounds, so the first 2 rounds of each half, they have an 80% chance of winning in regulation, which makes things absolutely insane for teams that are losing pistol rounds about 94% of the time, and then winning not only conversion rounds, but maps in regulation. They have won to overtime 1 time. That was to Marquette, and they won.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
we're
I'm
at
pretty sure
20%
that
now.
number. Yeah,
Sorry
I'm
about
pretty
that.
sure
I
that
didn't mean
number
to cut
even
you
gets
off.
bumped up when you're on the D side.
Yeah.
Considering the CD economy being so garbage in CS at the moment, but there's still a lot of things that need to be figured out about CS2 as we go on. But one more thing I want to ask you, Blaze, talk me a little bit through that 1 versus 3 clash. That was one of our favorite moments that happened on Inferno when you were on the D side. You first sneak through over towards the CD spawn, then you killed one player on site, and then planted the bomb to get the final kill afterwards. How'd that come through?
I don't know. To be honest, I just had all the boys on my side. They're- sorry, a little rowdy in here, but I don't know. Everyone was like, "Oh, people on." When it was 1v3, I was like, "Oh, I guess so. I gotta pull it through for the guys." And it just happened. It's just like, after a long time of playing CS, it's just natural on how to play it. But honestly, it's just unlucky. Like if you listen to Tarek talk, winning a 1v X should be. It's not the guy in the 1. It's the guy in the X. That's their fault for losing it. So it was just 1v1s the entire time, and it was missed shots too. I mean, I got lucky. I'll put it at that. And I mean, you guys give me all this props on this. I want to shout out Sanchez for that. What was it? A 1v4 on the pistol round or the second round on Inferno. He
Is that how you
destroyed
say
all
his
of us.
name?
I don't know how to say his name. Sanchez.
Okay.
Sanchez.
I think we've been saying Shanza or Shans, like something like
Shanza?
that.
Oh no.
Okay,
I'm sorry if I
I'm
butchered
asking
it.
them for next week. Yeah, me too. PSA asked people how to pronounce their names. Our bad. But yeah, that 1v4 was nuts. It was after who was the one with the Mag 7 who found 3 kills?
That's
directly
Jack,
before that?
yeah, that was Jack.
That was Jack. Just so
does
he
it
finds
every
3.
round.
He walks up mid, and then Shanza's just walking down boiler, finds 3 players, switches to the USP. Well, whoever I think it was you. You had the
I
Mag
got 1
10.
tap. I got destroyed.
And then you got 1 tapped by a USP while he was walking up the stairs. I would have thrown something. Oh my goodness.
No, when we lost that round, our coach said, "Oh, I guess it's GG's already," and then we were like, "Oh no!" And then they started winning rounds after that, and we're like, "If we lose this, we're putting it on you, man. We're putting it all on you, and it's gonna be your fault." And like, no matter what happens today, it was all good. It was all good and fun. I mean, we had a very competitive game. We're just ready for this for this game, and yeah, we're ready for next week. I don't want to jinx it, but RT D1 roster, you should show up next week. It'll be fun. Or in 2 weeks.
So I have some bad news. I don't know if the RIT D1 roster is going to be able to play. So next week's the Friday after Thanksgiving. We don't have a game scheduled. The week after that is the day before RIT would fly out to Boise, Idaho, should they win their NACE semifinal game. So if they win their semifinal, they can't end up playing you guys that Friday, and you guys will just play the D3 RIT roster. So the odds right now are you don't play D1. However, if you do, I'm getting MJB and you will. Because we talked earlier with Chutang, and I was like, yeah, you guys could get the D1 roster to take on Hawaii. And he goes, maybe we will. And I'm like, you definitely should. I think Blaze would enjoy it more than anything. But Blaze, before I let you go, I have 2 final questions. Number 1, about the series, you guys seemed much more confident here. Was it really because of that prep work to start things off, or were you guys just more confident in your shots, maybe a combination of the 2? And how did you get knifed with an XM in hand? By shots.
No. Don't bring that up. He's mad. He's kind of mad about that one. Okay, well, I'll talk about that one after. First of all, yeah, we came into this one. We just got, how do I say it? Last week it was just a fluke. Hopefully a fluke. It happens. Like, all right, we lost. That's on us.
And you guys won the series. You won by 3 rounds. That's what matters.
We said that, but we said a loss is a loss, no matter how it looks. You know what I mean? But that really put a fire under us, and we just had to bring out today. If you look at the scoreboard from the Vertigo game last week versus this week, everyone's score is even this week, and last week it was all over the board. I think we had someone, or I had 120 ADR, and then our bottom had like 34. So it was just like, and then this week it was like 80 to 100. So everyone was just playing their game, and that's how you win CS. It's a team game at the end of the day. As for the XM knife kill, let's just say someone got a little mad and we were clutching over a lot of yelling during that round. So it is what it is. It was a lot of fun, and I am pretty sure everyone enjoyed this week, and we're gonna have a good one. And hey, next week's Thanksgiving. You guys gotta get ready for that. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes. You guys know the drill. You know, you gotta eat. Hey, I know everyone's gonna have a good week next week, so shout out to you guys.
Sorry.
Thank you guys for coming out.
You talking about
Let's go,
gotten to
UH.
eat, needing to eat. You guys looked very good this week. You guys ate just about everything, including UVU, I guess. For the big dogs who did indeed eat, anybody you want to shout out? Any final thoughts in the series? And any trash talk words for MJB so he loses his semifinal game in NACE so he plays in 2 Fridays?
I'm not one to count people out, but if they do, hey, they get to play their final game against us, I guess, for the semester. I want to thank the team, man. They really pulled through for us, and they just stuck it out. And then, like I said, man, every week we're gonna get better. We're gonna hit some road bumps here and there. It is what it is. If it comes from us having to play FACEIT games at like 8, 10 o'clock at night because no one wants to scrim us because it's so late on the mainland, I guess you guys don't get to hear that one too much. But yeah, it's just the team pulled it together. Everyone supporting each other, and everyone just understood the assignment. Like, even I had to post a video this week on them having to learn vertigo smokes because everyone's all over the place. But like I said, we're student athletes. We student comes first, right? And a lot of us had exams and everything was going on, and life hits too. So I want to thank everyone for just staying along. I want to thank the UHE program. I think we just got nominated for Esports School of the Year or something like that. I think I saw that on the news. So that's something cool that I would love to be a part of. I guess again, it's back to back, I think. And other than that, I want to thank everyone from the organization again, and everybody out there for supporting us. You guys as well for casting and giving us some great content. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best.
Well, we thank you very much for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Blaze, giving us not only your thoughts, but I suppose your thanks. So thank you for thanking us, and the whole paradox of that problem developing. Blaze, again, nice victory for you guys. You guys are still on paper undefeated in series, but you said a loss is a loss last week. Just do better on vertigo. I don't know. Thank you very much for joining us, and again, congrats on the victory.
Yeah, hello.
Oh, somebody else jumped in behind him, and I cut him off. Feels bad, man. Well, Inflict, final thoughts on today. Not only the 2-0 for RIT, but the much closer 2-0 for Hawaii.
I mean, well, again, these were some of the most entertaining CS games probably anybody has watched, and even throughout the whole day, it's been absolutely entertaining. The first interview we had some headset problems that we tried to resolve by charades. The second one, we had some background music going on alongside some people jumping and them playing some kind of charades with us, which I never understood a single one of them, what they were trying to say, but. Nonetheless, we had a lot of charades gameplay going on alongside some CS, and in both of those games, in both of those CS games, we saw knife kills, we saw shotgun kills, we saw ridiculous pistols kills as well. Some R8, some 1v4 USP kills. So all around, it has been an absolutely fantastic day to witness.
Well, this day on paper for us is over, but for the EGFC is not just yet. If you're still interested in some first-person shooter action, the University of Connecticut is taking on Montana State University on twitch.tv/officialEGF2. That's in Valorant. That is headed to a third map, and that's the final map of the EGFC before the Thanksgiving break. So some housekeeping things. Counter-Strike will not have a game next Friday. Go Black Friday shopping, go hang out with your family, celebrate Thanksgiving a day later. Do whatever you please over the full week break. There will not be games at all throughout the entire week. They are pushed back to the last week of November into the first week of December. So the 2nd is the last time we will see you for CS2. That's also the last week of regular season play here in the EGFC. Tyler also told me to mention we have a JV/B team tournament. So if your team has a team that is not the main team, for instance, the RIT Division III roster, you're more than welcome to join that game or that tournament. I believe it's across 3 separate game titles: Rocket League, Overwatch, and Valorant, so keep an eye on that. And don't forget, with this season coming to a close, there are new teams that are more than welcome to join the EGFC, join the Discord, DM Viking on Twitter or Discord or some form of electronic communication. I don't have his phone number. I'd be more than happy to give that one to you. But we need more teams in Counter-Strike. We've only got 6 this semester, and some of them have some scheduling conflicts, so we can't see all 6 of them every single week. Hopefully there's more next time around, but a 1-week break, and we'll see you the first Friday in December for the last week of CS2 in the EGFC.